All right, Jesse, what's the dad joke this week?
All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, why do melons have weddings? They can't elope. I got that one too. Hold on.
It's the best. Listen, y'all, I don't know if you're excited to be here this week, but I sure am. And I heard this song, and I was like, we got to get back to that old intro. It's coming back. It's coming back. Why won't this go away? What's going on? Is this the background? What am I doing wrong? I hate my life.
I don't know what you're doing.
I can't do anything. Listen, I heard. So I found that song finally after it's been buried. My file system on my computer is god awful, but I finally found the file, and I paid for that. You go some of these asset websites, and you could pay for all the different variations of these songs, so you can use them. And I paid for them, and I put it in a file structure that I couldn't remember. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna find it because I need to redo the intro. And sure enough, I found the file. I'm super happy. So over the next couple of weeks, I promise we'll have a new intro. It won't be that god awful thing I threw together, a couple months ago. But anyways, I'm really glad that everyone's here. I appreciate you being here. Salty is joining us tonight. He's got a brand new comic we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about pop culture. We're here to talk about stupid shit and just have fun for the next few hours. It's a little earlier for you since you're on the West Coast. So I don't know if you're going to be bailing early on us or if you're going to rally the whole way. But we're happy to have you.
You talking about me? No, man, it is. I am in the South now. I'm from LA, but I live in the South. I left that crap hole of a state and city because the Democrats ruin everything they touch, and I wanted to get far, far away from them.
Nice.
Absolute facts.
Well, it's great to have you. Why don't you give people a quick rundown of who you are, what you do, and we'll go from there.
Well, my name is Sean Salter. Name is Salty. Really excited to be here. Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for letting me crash the party. I used to work in entertainment advertising marketing in Hollywood. Worked on films like the marketing for films like Captain America Civil War, Deadpool, video games like Borderlands 2, Batman Arkham. Was it City? There's so many Arkhams. It was the white one. We did all the white art. It was really cool. Nice. So did that for like 2 decades, worked at Disney, worked all over the place. And then I decided to retire early and get the heck out of Los Angeles. What really happened was I transitioned to making my own animated series, but that series got canceled because one of the executive producers had a video come out of him endorsing Trump and Jesus Christ. And so we got canceled because
can't have that.
Can't have that.
Right.
No, can't have that.
So
no.
I decided I was going to go to the South and get the heck out of Dodge and make a comic book.
Nice. And
so that's what I'm doing.
Your first this is your comic book. I think right before the show we talked quickly about it. It is nearing fulfillment. Is that right?
So we had one campaign. Actually, one of the first streams I was on was with Jesse here on his show and helped kick it off. And that was our first campaign. We're fulfilling that one very shortly. The prints were supposed to be here early this week, but you know how things are with printers. They're a little bit delayed, but we will be getting that soon and then sending that all out. But this current campaign is trying to introduce this comic book to a wider audience. So we were very successful in raising money, but we want to try to, get more people involved. And then we decided to add in a bunch of extras on this one, including a 6-page preview of my next graphic novel, which is based off of the novel series People's Republic by Kurt Schlichter. If you guys are familiar with that guy, we can talk about that later. So yeah, trying to be like, hey, this is actually 3 issues of my comic put into one graphic novel. We added some new lettering, updated the artwork, added a few more pages because I'm just becoming a better artist now that I'm able to draw every day instead of being a creative director and doing all the other stuff that entails. So we're just, trying to give you guys the best story possible about a teenage Ben Franklin who gets kidnapped, trapped inside a VR program run by an artificial intelligence that thinks it's God. And there's an entire global elitist group trying to enslave everyone and get them in the pods. and know nothing and be happy. And Ben Franklin, as a teenager, decides he's going to stop it.
That's pretty cool.
There's a reason. There's a reason why I reached out to Salty as soon as I heard about this comic. I was like, I'm so in. I'm so in,
dude. Leaving the
You
South.
had me sold at Benjamin Franklin. You had me sold at Franklin, man.
Dude, and you love Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
Doctor Who influences in here. It's like Doctor Who meets the A-Team, meets AMC's Turn. I love American history. I love science fiction. And I'm glad to just inject my principles, my views into my stuff in a really good, exciting story, because the woke Hollywood left has been injecting their crap and stuff for decades, and they hate me. So I decided to leave and do my own thing, and
hell yeah, love to hear it. We're looking forward to diving into it. This is, I guess, is supposedly now like a beginning of your new press tour for this campaign, or continuing press tour for this. So we're happy to get into it. But let's check in on the rest of you guys. Brahma, what have you been up to over the last week? You're a busy man. On
just the usual stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a show every night. So Sunday morning show is doing really well, though. The flagship, the bullpen, the political talk show has been growing, and we've been having fun with it. But outside of that,
we'll get you
talking a lot of Snow White for whatever reason.
So you have a political show on Sunday mornings?
Yeah, on my channel.
You're super based and conservative, right?
I'm probably further right than most of the people here. Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to start watching that. I'm gonna have to start watching.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
You might have to come visit it sometime.
Yeah.
Dude, I will, because I love talking politics, especially now that I have the muzzle off and I'm not gonna lose my job and lose my ability to take care of my family. I'm all about it, man.
Yeah, we'll get you on there.
Nice.
Little Chad is my co-host on there, and he's like a wind-up toy. You ask him a question, and he'll just go for 20 minutes. So easy show to do.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Jesse, what have you been up to, man? So you were not here last week. We missed you. So welcome back.
I appreciate that. Yes, no, baby's been sick and stuff like that, and having 2 kids in diapers is always a little bit of a hassle in the evenings, but she finally had her doctor's appointment yesterday. They got her some medicine. She's got a lot of drainage right now, but she's doing a lot better. We were able to have a morning show today, so we're back in the saddle of that. She did pretty good during the morning show, slept for most of it, so we got some videos done. We got 3 of them posted out there today. We are two subscribers away from 1,700 on the new YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, come check out the new one. Obviously, you guys know what happened with my last one. All of that stuff getting nuked over some BS YouTube rule changes. And of course, good old Director X, because that's always a fun one when you piss off one of those guys. So yeah, we're 2 away from that. So come check that out. That'll be really cool. We're back to grinding out content, getting all that stuff done. We're busy as a bee, but we still have our wonderful weekend streams. We had our Bible study and the Doctor Who show and everything else last week. We're reviewing Daredevil Born Again too, which hasn't been as bad as what some probably would have expected to be, but not as good as what I was hoping it was going to be either. But other than that, keeping busy, grinding away, having fun with 6 kids. It's an absolute blast.
6 kids, man. I don't know how you do it, dude. Is that why when you do the 24-hour streams and I'll tune in super late, you're like this?
Yeah.
No, that's just a normal evening.
Yeah, that's just the cyberpunk streams in the evening, pretty much guaranteed. Depending on the weekend.
Jesse, wake up.
Yeah. No, the 24-hour streams I normally survive through those ones, and then it's like towards the end of it, then we'll have fun. But no, if you do a 24-hour stream, you'll see a random child pop in every once in a while.
Daddy, love me.
All right. I need a hug. I'm a hug and a kiss. Sure. All right, now go away. Oh, that's great.
So who's Brahma? Me and you are going to the meetup. Jesse, you can't because you have too many kids, right?
That's pretty much.
He doesn't have too many kids. He's taking back America one child at a time.
One child at a time.
Dude, I used to say that all the time. I was like, I mean, literally, all we have to do is outbreed them, okay? Because if they have children, they do things to where they won't have grandchildren, or they don't have kids at all. So it's like keep them away from their schools, keep them out of the nasty school systems, keep them away from all of those freaks. You know what I mean? And in a couple of generations, it won't matter. Their ideology will literally die off all over again. So the
important thing is that second step of keeping them out of their school systems.
That's
where the indoctrination's going on.
The only Barry over on Twitch. Welcome, dude. I wanted to address this because I don't know if you're being facetious or not. Could MAGA not talk about their politics the last 4 years? I think we could. I think I don't think there's been too much of an issue. I do know that a lot of times some industries see it more than others, that you can't like outright talk about your politics because it could be to your detriment. So yeah, you know, unfortunately,
there were a number of things we couldn't talk about from the right, like you know, the jab and everything going on in that whole time period.
Well,
It's now come out as true.
Right.
Yeah, you're still not allowed to talk about your politics in Hollywood. Like if you work in Hollywood, you will get canceled right out of that industry.
Right. So so he worked in Hollywood, so it was in a very, very liberal industry, and you know, you see it all the time. I mean, when people come out as outspoken conservatives, they sort of, I mean, I think the tide's changing a bit. Like you have people like Rob Schneider and Kevin Sorbo, who've probably benefited just from another crowd, like people that, oh my God, there's celebrities who I can actually relate to, you know? So,
and then if you're John Voight, you were big enough and have been around long enough that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
But they couldn't do anything to him.
But like, if you're someone who is like those guys, they have put in their time and like have played the game for long enough that they can. But you know, if you're sort of lower on that list, like you're expendable. Oh, I can get another person.
Also, if you're behind the camera, if you're behind the scenes, if you're the guy behind the guy, if you're a grip worker, key grip, craft services, whatever, any of the blue collar jobs, because Hollywood is actually essentially a blue collar town when you're not talking about the actors. Right. My parents were actors, but my parents were actors. They were background actors. Not able to talk about your politics. You cannot, like in the industry that I worked in, entertainment advertising, I would talk to people like I would have people that you kind of knew they didn't talk about politics, and so you kind of knew where they butter their bread or what their beliefs were, and so we would talk, and there was an entire secret group founded by Gary Sinise, run by Jeremy Boring, called Friends of Abe for decades, where we all met in secret. But yeah, if it came out, especially when Trump started running, as soon as Trump ran, they were just straight up like just firing people, laying people off. If there was any hint of you being a Trump supporter, you were gone, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Didn't help that you're a white male either.
Yeah.
Oh no, not at all. White, straight, and Christian, that was like, that was already hard enough. You had the deck stacked against you. Promotions escaped you. Raises escaped you. You always had to work twice as hard, twice as long. It's
got to come in and apologize. Sorry, I'm breathing your air. Sorry,
dude. DEI classes during 2020 or 2021 was that was it. I was like, I got to get out of here, man. This is ridiculous.
And all that stuff's being reversed now. I think all these companies are realizing it's not in their best interest. There's been a couple of cool videos, and I see a lot of this stuff on TikTok just because I'm on it enough. But a lot of clips coming out of even these minorities that are speaking up and being like, these DEI initiatives, they don't serve the minorities the way you think they do. As a matter of fact, they make us feel less than, because, if all these people are here based on merit and I'm here just because someone checked a box or you needed to check a box, or if I'm here because I'm on my merits, and then you bring in 4 other people to close that quota, then what? Then you're diminishing what people believe I'm here for. Yeah. Like I got here on my own merits. So it's,
at least you want to think you did.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And and honestly, you almost would never know, because it's like, am I here because I did awesome? Like I know I passed all these classes. I know, I had a 4.0 grade point average, but like, is anyone thinking of that, or was it first? It was, oh, you're darker skinned, so you're coming. We want you in here. Like it's just shitty.
And there's plenty of them out there that had no problem taking a diversity hire job and know that they don't deserve those jobs, and they don't give a shit. They're selfish and narcissistic, know that's enough that they'll go, well, you know what? I'm special just because I was born this way, so I deserve this job. And they'll take that paycheck until the company finally fires them, man. And then they'll get pissed off and they'll run to IGN and go, they wouldn't let us put gay in things anymore, so they fired us all. And it's like, that's what happens when the money stops and runs out. That's kind of what happens. So.
After I left, one of my old bosses, who's a great guy, but he's more on the liberal side, but just really, really good dude. he had to help interview a guy for a position that was going to be above him, and that guy went into the interview with a stolen portfolio of work that we worked on at a different agency, and we were like,
Damn.
and he was like, who? What? No. And then one of the hiring managers there, like, one of the producers that was hiring, worked with us too, and he's like, we can't hire this guy, that portfolio is stolen. And they did all the research and found out. We went back to the agency and everything, and they had to hire him. And he's like, they hired him anyway, even though we proved that, like, his portfolio wasn't his. And I was like, oh, I wonder, hey, so what was his race? It wasn't white.
I'll respond to this. DEI boogeyman, y'all act as if any black dude could walk up and get any job because of his skin color.
Yeah.
So I think
the story just with the stolen portfolio.
It's not just their skin color; their politics also have to align as well. Because we've got one of our big theater guys that his politics don't align, and they won't give him a job, even though he's a very black man.
Yeah. And it's more not that a black dude could just walk up and get any job. No. It turned into a white guy can't apply to get any job.
Yeah. No, that's what it more is.
When your resumes are just getting dumped.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like, I don't necessarily think it's a boogeyman, but I think there's this misconception that, like, that it's weird. We don't think. Hold on, let me just think of my thoughts real quick. We don't think we are making the case that these, like, anyone can walk up if you have the skills and the merits to get a job, you can get a job. We're asking for the pool to be open to everybody, because when you're just hiring someone because you need to check a box, you're now hiring someone not because they're qualified to do so, but because someone higher than you said you need to do this. Yeah. And that creates a negative feedback loop with the person who you're actually hiring. And not only that, when you do that on the collegiate level, they've seen this, like when Ivy League schools have taken in, like DEI, they're not DEI hires, but they will often fail out of these classes.
They're diversity quotas. They're diversity quotas.
But it has the opposite effect, because you bring on people who are not qualified to be there. They perform poorly, and again, creates a negative feedback loop for the person that you're trying. Not always, but this happens frequently.
Oh yeah,
and that's not what you're trying to do. Yeah,
meritocracy.
Yeah. And we've literally got a Disney executive on camera saying that his bonuses were specifically tied to the diversity, how many diverse people he had hired in his department. Like, he's literally on camera saying that that's what Disney required in order to get a bonus, is that your section had to be so diverse based on their numbers. So it's like, this isn't a boogeyman. We know this actually happened. Oh, well, yeah, I know, but, like, that's the one where we've literally got him on camera saying
I know.
This.
I'm just saying, it's not just Disney. That is bonus compensation structure that is used throughout most of the Fortune 500 companies.
I'll respond to this too, and this I'll probably thank you for being a part of the stream. I appreciate you hanging out. I do think that in some instances, the right, not necessarily MAGA, but the right has overcompensated for these things and for the whole movement. But I just think overall, companies are realizing that the DEI initiatives that and the ESG stuff that was being proposed is not working as intended and is having the opposite effect, and they're losing money like hand over fist. So that is why. And again, these companies operate on a profit margin. They want to make money. And it doesn't matter what it is. If it's something social, a social movement, if it's not working, they're done. Oh, we got a super chat from Vet Stocking. Sorry, it blasted my ears. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say with that. But thank you again, Only Barry, for hanging out. We don't get many people like yourself chilling in chat.
And we appreciate that. We appreciate diverse opinions.
And I did want to. So since Vet Stocking. Since Vet Jocken dropped a 5, said Brahma looks weird without a suit.
Without a smoking jacket on.
Yeah, without the smoking jacket. I did want to let everyone know tonight we have a goal in chat. So what we're doing is we're running sort of a super chat fundraiser for Hora Murata and Sheep City, and who are getting married in Vegas for the FNT meetup that me and Brahma are going to. So if you would like to contribute to a wedding gift from our community, from the Shagsworth Midweek Hump community, tonight, next week, and then any night I'm playing a game moving forward until the meetup, we will put that towards a wedding gift to them. They are the originators, along with myself, of this show. So I figured I'd show a little love and get them a little something extra from all of you guys who might not be going or have already contributed. So if you'd like to do that, this is a great night to do it. The goal will be up there until we are done. So thank you so much.
Question, because we've had issues in the past on some of the streams. So that $5 one counted. Do you have a minimum set to count towards that total? Like, is a $1.99 or a 99-cent one gonna count towards your total? Because there's a threshold you can set.
Yeah. So right now, where's my chat? Here it is.
We know 5 is.
Yeah. So it's
counted.
5. 5 is the minimum. So we're 1 out of 15 is the goal.
All right.
Right now.
Just making sure everybody knows so that they don't send in a 99-center and think, why didn't it go up?
If you want to send in 99 cents, that's totally fine. Then I'll contribute, but it won't go to our goal.
It's not going to go towards the counter. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the 15 little.
Don't be cheap.
Yeah, don't be cheap.
Spend that money. Come on.
It's $5.
Yeah, teal is $5. Yep.
Anyone have change for a button? It's a classic line.
What was I gonna say?
It's good to see Andrew Campbell here. I don't know if he's a fan of your guys', but he watches our show a lot on YouTube, and he's a cool dude from Australia.
Good to see you, Andrew.
Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, smash that like button.
Where was I gonna start? I had something here.
Giggity.
Well, let's start with your campaign, Salty. I mean, there's a good amount of people here. Let's start talking about that.
Okay. Do you want me to pull that up, or do you want?
I got it.
Jesse, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
I got it. That's what I'm here for. That and my dashing good looks and clearly obvious sense of wonderful things.
Quick question: did you guys hear that sound effect that came through?
We don't hear it. Only you do.
No. Okay. I wasn't sure.
You'd have to plug if you're using voice meter, you'd have to plug it through the same thing as your mic. That's why this works.
It's coming through my streamer bot, so I didn't know if it still came.
It's not
through.
hitting us.
Okay, cool.
Nope.
Oh, Madhouse said he heard it. That's weird.
So it's getting your audience mix.
Ah, okay, but we just don't hear it.
Nice.
Holy shit!
Copy kidding.
They're just dropping things left and right.
Yeah,
Damn.
That's very cool.
Madhouse said, "No, here's number 2 for 5. Thank you."
Nice.
And number 3.
Nice.
Hell yeah!
And Copied Kitty came through with another 10. She donated 10 while I was playing Death Stranding the other night for the adorable couple. Awesome. Thank you so much. This is
Very
great.
cool.
Hell yeah!
Oh, and, okay.
Very cool.
We'll get to your comic eventually. Don't worry.
It's all good, man. I like anytime someone's getting married and it's people that, conservative, hopefully even Christian, and have a happy
Dude,
marriage.
they're anarcho-capitalists.
Yeah, they're great people. They're
Yeah, I would love those folks.
really they're probably two of the most directly responsible people for my channel getting to where it is, because they helped make this show, and then we all birthed it, and then we went 2.5 years together, and then we kind of just broke off, and they were doing their own thing. So, and they're getting married finally. We've been talking about it for years, and it's finally happening.
Harassing them constantly, nonstop.
As long as you have a good woman, marriage is good. If you have a bad woman, run. Don't do it. Don't.
No. Horror is awesome. Horror is absolutely awesome.
You have to say it carefully. You can't say it like you're from New Jersey, because it'll come out completely different.
Yep.
Oh, when she used to do the Party Animals streams with us, you could tell who was angry with her gameplay and who was happy, because they would enunciate or not. Typically me.
Brahma.
All right, let's talk comics. Salty's here. We're going to talk about his indie game. Oh boy.
Is it not showing up for you guys?
Dude, let's just keep delaying it. Who cares? Let that money flow. Let's go.
Right. That's weird. Cash,
Thank you,
Kester.
Cash.
What's up, Smoking Man?
Yeah.
Smoky Man, are you going to be at the meetup? Am I going to see you there? Hope so.
Nope.
Are you do be there?
Are you?
You almost got a sentence out.
Jesus.
No, you didn't.
I didn't know they're finally getting hitched. Here's another 10 to the awesome couple. Yes. Let's go. Let's go.
Halfway there, 7 of 15. Halfway there.
Very cool.
Yes, Cash is going to be there.
Awesome.
It's got a
All right,
great,
let's.
got a great chat.
Awesome.
We'll
Okay.
probably have a cigarette together or 30.
Yeah. So we should check
Okay.
out the trailer first?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, watch that trailer. Oh, it's a little glitchy.
Have you changed the music since the first one?
So there's 2 trailers now. This is the latest
Okay.
trailer. Yeah, this is
Okay.
this is definitely a little bit of an updated one with some of the updated artwork.
Okay, because the music feels very like Superman the kind of like music for it. So that's kind of what I was asking. Yeah, I like it though. I dig it.
Real quick question.
Yeah.
And forgive my ignorance. Is this a young Ben Franklin like caught in some weird time like thing, or is this someone else named Ben Franklin for?
So
the
this
real person?
is an 18-year-old Ben Franklin. He still has his hair. He's not fat yet. It is on the eve of him actually traveling to England to secure a printer. But in this version of Ben Franklin's life, he gets kidnapped by some people from the future, travel back in time. The time travel is not as pinpoint accurate because it's still a new technology in this world. So they get there a little early, and they're like, well, we're here, and we're going to grab this guy right before he turns 19 and take him to the future and download his intellect, put him in a pod, hook him up to the machine, and then download his brain into the VR program for him to live. And there's a more nefarious plan there, but basically what's happening is that this AI has developed a way to travel through time, steal people throughout history, download them into the VR program, and then add their intellect and their genius to the algorithm so that the AI can then become omnipresent and omnipotent and try to become God. So it's this whole nefarious thing of stealing the souls of humans throughout humanity to govern and, control them.
That's
To get into his propensity and love for hag maxing.
Well, we do. So my father's an American historian. So we actually have a lot of Ben Franklin's history in here. We actually have short stories at the end, like kind of not known short stories at the end of the comic that are just for so for the kids that you want to give them a little history lesson. That's there too, and then we have history kind of as a character, as like a background character. That in the series we're going to see a lot of historical characters: George Washington, Alexander Hamilton, Nikola Tesla. So there's going to be a lot of cool characters that we run into as well. Sometimes they're going to be trying to save them. Other times they're partnering with them to make sure that the time stream stays the same because they don't want the past to change, because that could change the future potentially. And again, it's Ben Franklin and he decides that in the future he's going to join this team of people to stop this nefarious corporation that's created this VR program, like maybe, I don't know, Meta or something else, where they're trying to get everyone to live in it. And so they can control them, manipulate them, brainwash them. And he thinks that's horrible. And he's going to try and, end it, essentially.
That's cool. Anyways, keep going.
Is it just playing glitchy for me?
Nah,
No,
it's
it's
a
for me
little bit
too.
choppy.
Oh, okay.
All right, is it choppy for everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little
Okay,
bit, yeah.
let me reshare it because a lot of the time that helps. Hold on, that helps.
Sure,
that
it
helps
has a
me
screen
occasionally.
instead of a window.
Are you doing all the pencil, ink, and color, or do you have someone doing the
So I wrote it. I do all the art. I did all the pencils, inks, and letters. And then there was 3 issues, and this is basically 3 issues into one book. I did the first 2 issues of color, and then I hired Brett R. Smith. I don't know if you know that guy is super awesome dude, super base, super conservative. He's been a comic book colorist for years, and I hired him for issue 3 because I was like, I got to get this thing done. It's taking too long. I'm slow with colors, so I hired him for the colors for the last issue. He did a really, really great job. But yeah, I'm basically doing everything because coming up in Hollywood and stuff, I ended up becoming a writer, working on commercials and advertising, and I always drew. Like my first job was basically as a production artist, and then worked that into being like a digital illustrator at Disney. So it's like all my skills that I learned in advertising, I'm now putting into this comic.
Nice.
Very cool. It looks good so far.
Oh yeah.
Much
Seems
better.
to be
Oh
smoother.
yes, much better.
You try turning it off and turning it back on again.
Bob's. Man, who did the trailer for you? Did you do the trailer too?
I didn't do this trailer. A guy named Von Klaus did the trailer. He's also a comic creator. He's got a couple comic. He's a writer, and then he does really good trailers. So, and I was, I'm like so busy drawing this thing that I'm having to start hiring people to help me out. So I hired him to do the trailer for this one. And I hired someone to do the original trailer as well because editing is just I do not enjoy editing.
No.
Not at all. No. It's not fun.
I know a few masochists who like it, but I can't.
No. So
it's one of those things. If you're not in a big rush and you've got like time to actually put all the effort in you want to doing something like this, if you've got like a week to do a trailer like this, it's not bad. But I get it. It's not for everybody.
No, not at all. Not at all. So yeah, it's off to a really good start. Being a small creator, I'm really excited to see, already 54 backers. We've only been doing this for 8 days, and I'm trying to ramp up the marketing and stuff. So, but yeah, if you guys have any money left after giving to horror and was it Sheep City, right?
U.S. government.
And then your theft, your annual theft, your daily, weekly theft. Think about getting this book. We got a lot of different options. There's 4 different covers. I hired Dan Lawless did a cover for me, which is really, really cool. If you scroll down, we'll be able to see some of the art. And you guys click on the link, you'll be able to see the art. There's 2 covers by me, and then a cover by Eric Weathers, and those are both really awesome. And it's been a lot of fun making this. I'm looking forward to already written the next book in this series, and we're working on that now. And then again, the other exciting thing is a 6-page preview of the People's Republic comic book, which is coming out, graphic novel. And if you guys have heard of People's
That's a
Republic,
cool page. I like that a lot.
Thank you. Yeah,
I like that page.
Yeah.
It's been fun, man, making this. Just having a blast. I absolutely love American history. Absolutely love American history, and I love science fiction. And actually, this story started as an animated series that I was developing for a different studio, different show than the one that got canceled. And it was like it was like a conservative studio, and we were developing this as an animated series, 22-minute show. But the studio ran out of funding, man, and so I was like, I gotta tell this story. So I was like, well, I know I can do a comic book on my own. I don't need a team of animators to do it. So doing a comic book, man.
Yeah. Good way to go.
Yeah. And it's again, I wanted to have a comic book that was that would celebrate American liberty, celebrate the founding of the country. And what better, way to do that than get I think America's most prolific founding father, who was, the Renaissance man of his time. And, why not make him he's a printer, he's a politician, he was postmaster general, he was an inventor, a scientist, and now he's a time travel agent.
An ambassador multiple times over.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody in the chat has had a suggestion of using Cassius Clay as one of your historical figures.
Ooh, that would be fun. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of ways you could take it too with the story, because it is a story about what's happening in this dystopian future, where there's just there's a couple of different companies, and they're like, the government is partnering with some bad corporations, and there's like a good corporation, a good CEO, and they're like all battling for like basically the soul of the country. And Ben Franklin finds himself in the middle of this world that is in turmoil, that humanity is completely enslaved by their vices and their appetites. And he works with this kind of like this little private paramilitary organization to liberate everybody, liberate the world, really, essentially.
So does most of the story take place in the dystopian future or traveling through time?
Lot of traveling through time. So the main story is about the future, but there's so much traveling through time because they're trying to kidnap
to try
people.
to change things and
they're trying to change things. They're trying to do things. They're not quite sure what's going on. There's like a bigger nefarious plan going on that they will uncover. But as they're trying to stop the bad guys from doing bad stuff in the past and in the future, we'll be seeing all kinds of people, all kinds of stories. I want to kind of explore like the really fun stories, like the comic opens on the Ben being it actually opens on a flashback kind of where it's 1776 Trenton, New Jersey, on the eve of the Battle of Trenton. So the day before Christmas Eve. Before the Battle of Trenton, and that's going to unfold in this story, and then we're going to maybe explore World War II and maybe some of the other stuff that we don't know about, because one of the things I want to do is like there's really cool points in American history where you're like, why don't we learn about that in school? And I'm gonna put that in the book.
Yeah.
Dope. Yeah, because this is that scene right here that you're talking about, right?
Yeah, right there in the beginning, opening on Trenton, New Jersey, 1776. Yeah, and the AI actually, DB Wild has oligarch computation protocol. So the AI in this name is IAM, IAIM, and that is Integrated Algorithmic Matrix. And because if you know the Bible, he is alluding to the fact that, yes, exactly.
Yep, I am. Yep. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so this whole thing is basically like the tagline that we have going for it. What is it? I've written so many. It's the revolution against the algorithm has begun.
I like that. That is great. Yeah, they're looking for the old one, and they find the young boy instead. Who the devil are you? I love that.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun making this thing, man. It's been great, and I can't wait to get the prints this week. And so this is a pre-order campaign for the next version of prints, which comes again with that 6-page preview. If you go down, you want to scroll down, you can see the cover for the new graphic novel too. So none of you guys ever heard of the novel series People's Republic?
No.
It's a pretty popular novel series. It's 8 books. It's one of the best sellers for fiction on Amazon, and it is about a war-torn America that's in the middle of a civil war. So it's a lot more grounded, a lot more realistic in the fiction. And this character, Kelly Turnbull, is a black ops operative that goes behind the enemy lines of the blue states and does missions and tries to basically just does some black op missions in the Democrat run states and cities. Civil War. It's
not on the nose at all. I love it.
It's like Punisher meets Fallout. It's pretty dope. And this one's going to be awesome too. So you'll get a 6-page preview of that as well. And that's going to be crazy good. And it's a lot. I'm penciling it right now, and I'll be done by the end of April. And then we'll be off to the printers, man.
Damn. So how much, is this your job now? Like, do you just spend the day drawing and inking and like doing this all the time?
Yeah, wow. I do. So I've done covers for like Ethan Van Sciver, and I've done covers for Von Klaus and a couple other people. Mainly just doing covers and pinups for other indie comic creators. And then I have a couple clients that hit me up for illustration. And then I'm just making my book, man. I'm just living in the middle of a forest in the middle of nowhere, drawing pictures and doing America stuff.
America.
That's pretty rad, dude. I really like what I'm seeing.
Trying to see if I can look at a bigger picture of all 4 covers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can always click on the covers. I think you can click on. Oh, you want to see the picture of all 4 covers? I can share my screen.
Okay, there you go. That'll work.
Want to see
pictures
both.
aren't super- That's right.
So this
aren't very
campaign,
good.
this campaign you're running is a collection of ones that have been released already. Is that right?
First
Yeah,
3
so the
into
books-
one
First
book.
3.
Yeah. The first 3 issues were released as floppies. They were like 32-page floppies. And then what we did was I added 4 pages of story, though, because I was trying to improve the story because, again, it's my first comic book. And there were just certain things that I was like, oh, I wish I did that better. So all the things that I wish I had done better, I decided to do better in this version. So better lettering, updated some of the art, just certain things I was like, I'm going to change that because I want that to be better. So I updated some of the art for some of the other pages and then added 4 new pages to the story to kind of make that story be better, be more interesting.
Right on.
Let me see.
Oh yeah.
You can see right
I've been.
I do.
We should talk at some point because I don't know if you're like how interested you are in the collabs, but I've had a story that I've been kicking around for a long time. Ooh.
Right? Those are sexy. I like it.
Damn. Hey,
Yeah,
thanks,
so-
core member. Another $5 for Sheep City and Almirada. Thank you very
And
much.
for all the people out there that loved The Critic, buy my book. Buy my book. Do you guys know that reference?
Not
The-
that specific one, but I know the critic. It's just been forever since I've seen it.
There was an episode where it was, what was the movie with Kathy Bates where she kidnaps the dude? What was that movie called?
Misery.
Misery.
So the critic episode where they're spoofing off the Misery. She like got like a cardboard cutout of him and like had the clapper attached, so she like claps, and then it's like him going, "Buy my book." Buy my So on our show we have that. I'm always like, "Okay, guys, guess what time it is? It's time for me to shill."
That's great. I love it.
That show had one of my favorite scenes of any show ever. It was when they were on the plane, and the plane starts having a few issues. So it was like his dad and his mom, I think, were in the plane. So they go up and look into the cockpit, and it's just 2 penguins. And he's like, "Wait a second, penguins can't fly. Penguins can't fly." And then it crashes.
Oh man, that is one of the most underrated shows. Am I too busy for commission work? I'm not if it is financially viable for me. I'm not the most expensive artist, but I'm not the cheapest either. I am pretty busy, but I will take commissions if that price tag is lucrative.
Yeah.
Heck
He's
yeah.
not some cheapo, but he's not top of the line either.
Make that buck.
No, I'm reasonable. It's not like I'm somebody that can charge a lot. I'm not a famous comic book artist. I didn't have 30 years in the comic book industry. So definitely I'm not like, oh, you got to pay me thousands of dollars. I mean, those guys can earn it though. I mean, those guys, that art is it's going to be more valuable than my art. That's for sure. Cause they
Maybe.
spent 30 years in the comic book industry. I hope one day that my art will be as valuable as theirs. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, man.
Yeah, you're
Well,
definitely
we
on the
really
grind.
are.
Yeah.
We're in a beautiful renaissance right now of like independent media in general, whether it be news or comics or like movies and some of the other animated stuff that people are doing out there on their own. Like we're in a glorious time for just like some of the most beautiful, amazing stuff. And that there are legends being born right now, and we just don't know who they'll be until for 20 or 30 years from now. But there are absolutely being legends born into the industry right now. It's a beautiful thing to see all this stuff.
Yeah, and that's why it's great that like you guys, it's just awesome. Also, there's a lot of people in the scene, a lot of conservative people that have like shows like this that are highlighting creators too, and I think that's really important as well. And I think that's what one of the things that drew me to Shagsworth. That's what kind of drew me to you, because you have that. Yeah, I have a problem with Hollywood. I have a problem with some of this stuff that's being made, but also let's like explore what is being made that I do like, and I like that, instead of it just turning into one long bitch fest of like Hollywood sucks, because Hollywood does suck. I mean, let's not pretend like it doesn't suck.
I actually heard something really interesting this week, and it was like people who create like often see like the most, like can see the beauty in a lot of things, and the people who don't create are often like the most critical, if that makes sense. Like in some regards miserable. And it really hit me because I think for a minute I found myself in that spot where even though I was creating, like I spent more time like talking down on things that like people had worked hard on. And it's like, well,
yeah,
and people hear me say this all the time about like companies like Ubisoft and stuff. And I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but like a lot of the people who are working on video games that might suck are actually like good people who are talented. They're just like stuck because they need a paycheck. They can't just up and leave for activism's sake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there was probably a time where you were in Hollywood and like you, as much as you wanted to remove yourself from it, like you had bills to pay, you had people to take care of or yourself to take care of. And you can't just like, pull the rug out. And again, like you have to, I mean, I know people who are super conservative who work at Ubisoft and who work in the video game industry, and they keep their mouth shut because they can't afford, to lose their income. But, that again, once I started realizing that, I tried to take a different approach to a lot of this stuff. And even though we do bitch and every now and then here, like, I try to make the stuff I create like on TikTok or whatever to be like, hey, check this out because it's a hidden gem. Like if you want to watch something good, go watch this thing.
Well, there's nothing wrong with complaining about stuff that you find wrong. Like it's good to point it out and be like, this is messed up. This needs to change. This needs to stop, whatever. And highlighting bad things. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's just part of the human experience. Except my thing is like, don't be a woman, like don't be the one that's like, where do you want to eat? No, not there. No, I don't like that place. No, that place sucks. Like, okay, so what do you want? What do you think's good? What do you want to, you know what I mean? It's like, just offer something up as an alternative, especially when you have a bigger platform, like when your platform's pretty big, it's like, don't be just that person that just complains. Like complaining is fine. Cause again, it's lucrative. It's funny. You can have comedy out of it, making fun of really bad stuff. Making fun of the left is always awesome. But
and just to add on to what Shags was saying, I mean, the reason we do it with the companies that we do it and with the industries we do it with is because Hollywood and video game companies are so front facing. They actually are putting out a product out there that you can actually point it out in. But what he's saying about all the, the employees, like the company I work for or, contract with, big DEI department. Almost all the Fortune 500, like I said earlier, have DEI departments. It's not going to be, I mean, you can hate the DEI, but at the same time, you're probably working for a place that believes in it fully, and you can't just walk away because we've all got to make some money somehow.
Yeah. I really feel like, too, that the DEI gets pushed so heavily because a lot of these corporations treat their employees so bad and have for so long that they're like, no, guys, we're not bad. We're great. Look, we care about things and stuff that the media tells us we need to care about. It's like, it's not even like anything they believe in because corporations are so soulless half the time, man.
Yep. It's true.
But the reason Hollywood and video games are taking the brunt of it is because of the culture war and because it's a front-facing product.
Yep.
But you'd hate just about every company that you deal with just as much if they had a product that was front-facing as well like that.
Yeah.
Real quick, E. Clay Thompson, E. Clay Thompson came through with a 10, said, you kids have fun storming the castle. Always have fun.
Oh, yeah.
And this is, like I said, guys, the super chats today are going right towards Horror Amarada and Cheap City's wedding gift from the community. And I didn't say before, but I will say that the people who do contribute to this, I'm going to make sure that I, like, whatever I'll put a note.
Sign the card with your name.
Sign the card. Your name will be on it. And I'll probably put, like, what you contributed just so they know You know, or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just leave that off. But
Yeah,
either way,
I would leave the monetary amount off of it. Yeah.
yeah. But I'll just because they will love to hear from you if you know, because I'm sure they'll remember you. I'm sure you see you in other streams. But just please keep in mind these couple days leading up to Vegas, we're putting together a nice wedding gift from this community, from the Midweek Hump community and my community. So again, thank you guys for your donations tonight. What are we at? 10 right now or 9?
9 out of 15, but a couple of them, like we did the minimum of $5, but like some of them, we've had a couple that were 10 too. So technically we're kind of a little closer than that, but yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jesse. Go ahead.
No, you're good. No, I wanted you to get to that. No, we definitely needed to get to that. But no, it's one of those situations where it's like also criticism is important for anything to grow and get better. You know what I mean? And it's one of the reasons why and Salty's right. You know, the angry stuff, the criticizing, the bashing, this stuff generally gets a little bit more traction. But at the exact same time, I try to do articles and videos about stuff that's positive, right? Like we just had Tubi and Ketchup come in and save Looney Tunes, you know, from Warner Brothers' own stupid decisions. You know what I mean? So, but also at the exact same time, you know, I bash Snow White and I get 600 views. I talk about Looney Tunes being saved and I get 80 views. You know what I mean? So it's like the sad part about that is the algorithm kind of draws you to that kind of stuff. But you do have to have a balance. You do have to talk about things. You know, a lot of people are like, I'll never give money to any of these companies ever again. Yada 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 because of the way they've done things, and I completely understand and respect that, right? And I will never blame anybody for being like that, or like I will just continually hate these companies forever. I get that. They have earned your ire, right? They have done this to themselves. But at the exact same time, it's one of those, it's like, you know, I was rooting for Daredevil Born Again because I want that stuff to be good again. I don't want to have to just continually strain my voice screaming about how bad they're screwing up and how stupid all of this stuff is and how ridiculous all is and how they're wasting all of these properties and everything else. You know what I mean? And we've been reviewing it and we've been talking about it. And if it's good, we'll tell you it is. And if it's not, we'll tell you it's bad. You know, it's just, it's unfortunate that they have done so much damage to themselves. There's a portion of their audience they'll never get back. Daredevil Born Again's proved that, right? The ratings are crap for that show. And as far as I'm concerned, even based on the quality that we've seen so far, that should still be one of the highest rated shows ever watched on Disney Plus as far as a Marvel show is concerned, because it should literally be like right behind Loki and WandaVision, if not above both of those, you know, as far as like the ratings because of what they did and the characters they brought back and everything else. But the problem is the audience is just so burnt out. You know, we just did a video today about how YouTube now is the most watched company on television, period. And Disney has ESPN, ABC, Disney Plus, Disney Channel, all this other kind of stuff that all adds into their Nielsen ratings as total watch time. And YouTube, a single platform, has beaten everything Disney owns. And that just shows you how bad the state of Star Wars is. That shows you how bad the state of Marvel is. That shows you how bad the state of just general Disney stuff is, you know, and they have lost hundreds of billions of dollars. Hollywood as a whole has lost hundreds of billions of dollars. Disney by itself has lost tens of billions of dollars, if not hundreds of billions of dollars, when you factor in all the merchandising money that they've lost because of the decisions they've made, you know. And if they're actually going to change things, if they're actually going to turn around, well, you know, what do you do, right? You feed the good stuff. Because if you just say everything's bad forever, well, the only people that they're going to get any praise from are the little psychopaths out there on Twitter and out there on X going, yay, thank you for the diversity stuff, yay. And even though they can't make any money doing it, it's like, well, at least we're getting some nice words from them. Everybody else still just hates us, even though we tried to change. So I don't know. That's how I've always thought about it. Praise them when they do good things and beat the living hell out of them when they do bad things. So.
Well,
poor kids, damn.
Again, the revolution against the algorithm.
Hey, you know what? They don't act up.
And you know what you could do? You could always do is like this is what I'm thinking that I'm gonna want to do on my own channel is like do the bashing, work the algorithm a little bit, like bash the crap out of Snow White, but in the same little short video, be like, this is what I hate, but this is what I love. So then the 80 view video will get the 600 views because you married it with the trash talking, because everyone loves the trash talking.
You seriously need to do that because like it becomes like the algorithm does not like when you go against what it wants. And right now what it wants is, and this is true on TikTok a lot as well, is they want things that are, making people angry and divisive. And, again, because they don't care about the message as much as they care about the bottom dollar. And the real issue that I have overall, and I've talked about this a lot, is, you need to provide alternatives. But like, I think the substance of negative feedback is that, like, you need to break down what it is that's bad about it. And like with it, whether it be games or movies, like, give me a functional criticism of it. And if you're going to divert from like the mainstream urinalists that exists there.
Did you just say urinalists?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Urinalists and
like,
analists. That's what we've got in the mainstream.
Said
In
that
the
before. I
legacy
think you
media,
said that
we've got
before.
urinalists and analists.
Leave out identity, leave out all that stuff. I don't care about like what Rachel Zegler looks like. Talk about her acting. Again, I don't care about Gal Gadot. Tell me about her acting or lack thereof. Tell me about the bad CGI. Tell me about the bad writing. Tell me about whatever it is that makes a movie functionally bad. Maybe from a writing standpoint, maybe from a technical standpoint, whatever it might be. I mean, this movie has been in like development hell, and it still came out in the way it did. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's plenty to criticize about it without having to stoop to, Rachel Zegler is a brown Snow White. Okay.
Well,
right.
And you have to get past those things at some point. But like I've said this a million times before, is those are the red flags, right?
Sure.
Those are the first signs of things that are normally going to be bad. And why do we know that? Because that's the history. That's the pattern. If they concentrate, Eternals is going to save lives because we have a gay couple in it and all of this diversity. And we're like, yeah, well, I guess just fuck Kirby and everything he ever created and his ideas and all that. I mean, that's what I screamed about in those videos, right? I mocked all of the rest of their stuff and their box office and everything else, but I screamed about how they disrespected like the literal legend Jack Kirby. You know what I mean? One of the guys that gave us some of the most fantastical art, some of the most fantastical stories, and literally out of this world kind of craziness. And they go and turn it into nothing more than a DEI literally movie. And it's like, no, screw you guys. You're not going to disrespect this guy. You're not going to disrespect his source material like this without somebody getting mad about it. And there was plenty of people that did, and they lost hundreds of millions of dollars, and they totally deserved it. But that's just that always happens when they concentrate on identity politics. Everything else down the line suffers, right? Star Wars Outlaws is a great example of that. They thought they were going to get away with just all the DEI stuff, and that was going to sell the game. Well, guess what? On top of that, the game was a broken and buggy mess. And even though IGN tried lying to everybody's faces, you could literally see it in their own previews how bad things were screwing up. So it's like you start off with those things as a red flag going, hey, this week we should probably be worried about this because this is what they're concentrating on in their marketing and their promotion and everything else. And then, oh, hey, guess what? When it comes out, it's also hot garbage storytelling on top of everything, i.e. Snow White. I mean, literally the critics, the top critics, the people that actually do it for a living and get paid by an official company gave like Snow White like a 29%. Like, and that's the Access Media saying that. So it's like, yeah,
no one's a fan of that movie, unfortunately.
But to Shag's point, I mean, like, that is kind of what we've been doing on comics on Monday nights. Like, comics, we spend the first 30 minutes talking about Snow Latte and her flounder eye syndrome, and then we talk about the latest Taylor Sheridan show, the latest episode of 1923 every Monday. Before that, it was Landman, whatever is actually good and we're enjoying. And then we have the nerd arguments about the episode of that show.
Yep.
What we liked, what we didn't. But overall, we're pointing out how good we think the show is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is one way where you can like do that. You bring him in with the Snow White and you talk about Landman or talk about 1920. Basically, you talk about Taylor Sheridan because there's not much else out there.
We're like, I talked about this on my conversation on Tuesday that like game culture like is in a very odd place right now because there's people who are like trying to save gaming, and then there's people who are just trying to play games, and there's just a fine line that you walk. Like Assassin's Creed Shadows, like as much as I want to belittle the game, like I'm hearing from people that I respect as creators say like this is a fun game. Like, is it historically accurate? Well, no. Like, is any Assassin's Creed really historically accurate? Well, no.
I don't know. Those sneak mechanics that we showed last week did not say that it's a well-made game.
Someone was telling me that that those were either those might be real, but like the immunity like thing where you drop down and they can't hit you, like that I guess was proven false. And this was what I was getting into was in this discussion was now you have people who are like pushing back against gaming culture saying this game is awful and it's terrible, but like they're misleading. They're just as misleading with clips out of context or whatever. And I'm like, I don't even know how to believe anymore. I just want to play a video game and have fun because it's escapism for me. Like I'm here playing 2 or 3 hours at a time, delivering packages in Death Stranding, and I can't get enough of it. Like arguably you could argue that is a horrible design for a game, but somehow Kojima makes it work and it does a great job. And it's
I think that's the thing that I think kind of is missing now is just making something good. Like a lot of people get past a lot of the woke stuff. I mean, let's be honest, the last 30 years have been Hollywood content, video games has been overwhelmingly injected with that left-wing politics. We see it like me and my wife will watch a lot of old shows, and if it's anything that's like 30 years old and newer, if it's good, you just see it. You're like, oh, I didn't even notice it before. I'm more sensitive to it now because everything's politics. But it was at least good. It was at least enjoyable. Right. I could look past it. Now it's like, you guys can't make crap. You're making everything terrible. Apparently the DEI is not working because you've hired people that have no talent. The writing is horrible. The development is horrible. The production quality is horrible. And then you're cranking the DEI up and the woke crap up to 10, and I'm like, are you doing that on purpose so that's the way you can get headlines because you can't make good art? So at least if you're going to make bad art, you'll make it controversial because they'll be talking about it because they'll be hate watching and hating on it, and that's how. Like I'm always like, is this a marketing ploy? As a marketing guy, what's going on here? And so for me, I'm like, I miss things being good. I don't even care if your politics are in it, and I don't agree with the politics. Can it just be fun?
The thing, and I've been rewatching 24. I'm in the middle of season 3 right now, and I've mentioned this in the past, but like there are moments in that show that I didn't notice before because I wasn't in this space that I'm in now. Like that you could argue that there are like woke moments. There's like very powerful women. I think they're written as like the classic like strong woman. Like when you look at your wife, like you look at her as you're a strong woman. I love you. Like you could do anything, like you just.
But go make me a sandwich.
Just right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Really, but like another baby, please.
But there's a respect that we often give women that we don't like. I don't know. It's in my head at least, and I think a lot of men like offer a great respect to women most of the time because it's what we do. We open doors for people, right? Like or for them, we go and open their car door. Yeah, the chivalry part of it, right? But like there's moments in the show where like there's strong female characters. There's talk of race, like they bring up the race card because David Palmer is a black president, black senator. It's like all this stuff was present.
It was present,
but now,
it also wasn't there just to make Jack Bauer look like a piece of crap at all times.
No,
right.
That's kind of the difference is where we're at now is, you've got to tear something else down. Now,
because they can't
back then it was these things could be cohesive or at least combative with each other.
Yeah, because they can't they can't write strong women anymore. Before it was like she's a strong woman on her own, she's independent, she don't need no man, whatever. But like Jack Bauer is still a dope ass dude that's gonna handle and save the day. Now it's like no, the strong woman is there, but all the men have to be made stupid, weak, incapable. And it's like can we stop pretending like women are better than men at anything?
Right.
Like
there's like the one analyst in 24, what was her name? Chloe, I think, that could basically do anything on the computer. So yeah, it kind of made sense. She's support role, but she saves the day quite a few times because she's able to do all of the stuff.
Which is
But
great because Jack
I
Bauer
hated
is like
her
an
just
equal.
because she had, yeah. And the reason I hated her was not because it was a woman doing the job. It was because she has resting bitch face, and I didn't find her attractive in any way.
They should be hot.
Well,
That used to be the issues that we had with shows.
Yeah. Well, like and it's just a little bit of recency bias for me, but one of the things that I come up with all the time that I bring up is like Cyberpunk 2077, right? If you've ever played that game, there's definitely some woke elements into it, right? And there absolutely is. But at the exact same time, like it's got incredible storytelling. Like I've been absolutely addicted to that freaking game. And yeah, you got like
not. Fuck out of here.
oh bullshit, whatever. Get the fuck off. Get the fuck off. Fucking anti-woke activist fucking Shagsworth.
I can't like that shit. I'm sorry. It's my fault. It really is my fault. I can't enjoy Cyberpunk for whatever reason. I can't get into it. Continue.
It's okay. It's okay. But
I didn't like it either.
The storylines are really great. Like he froze at the perfect
Frozen.
time. Somebody get a screenshot of that one. That is perfect. You can use that for memes all day long, boys
Is it
and
good
girls.
though? Is it because I'm looking for a good game? There's no games right now that I'm actually that excited about. I was playing because Ghost of Tsushima finally came out on PC,
Right.
and I was playing that. But it's like it has the same problem that I have with Assassin's Creed. It's just super repetitive after a while. It's like really fun.
What kind of games do you like?
I really love open world Western RPGs. It's like my absolute favorite. I wish
dude,
Fallout
I
4
fucking
was a
Red Dead
proper
Redemption.
RPG. I love to mod the games though to make them RPGs. But yeah, I love old open world RPGs. I loved Red Redemption 1. I haven't really gotten into Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm just not feeling
It's not
that one.
anywhere near. It's not anywhere near as good as the first one. I don't think I even finished it, but I was addicted to the first one. But that's one of the things. Cyberpunk kind of gives me those feels because it is completely and totally open world. You don't necessarily have to follow the storyline. Like it doesn't force you. It gives you your missions, and you can go and you can run through the entire storyline if you want. But like you can also just run around and like spend all day killing cyberpunks or cyber psychos and making a bunch of money and upgrading your hardware. Kind of like how you could do it in Red Dead Redemption, where you're just running around killing animals and making money. It's like you can do the exact same thing in that. So it's very much kind of play at your own pace and do whatever you want. And like I said, I think a lot of the characters are great in it. Pan Am is a strong, independent woman, and yet she's a total badass. Like it all makes sense. Like it's understandable. The character's still really well written. And she's smoking fucking hot. So like it all ends up working out really well.
Yeah, I've been playing a heavily modded Skyrim and a heavily modded Baldur's Gate 3.
There you go.
Nice.
Baldur's Gate 3 is a sexual harassment simulator, but if you get a mod where you could just make all your characters, then you can kill all the sexual harassers and then just play the game unmolested.
Nice.
I missed Joe.
That game.
I missed Joe's super chat. Thank you for the $2. Their PR machine or lack thereof tanked the film, referring to Snow White, I believe. Yes, 100%. Yeah.
I think it was her doing any PR was what tanked it.
Yeah. Any PR. Every time she opened her, Disney. I just dropped a video today over this. Disney had to hire extra security for Gal Gadot and her 4 kids because of the stuff that Rachel Ziegler was saying.
After the Free Palestine statements were made by Ziegler.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Man.
Dude, and Disney told this to Variety. This wasn't coming from like inside sources at WDW Pro. This was literally Variety put this out in their article about it. It was insane.
Disney's now going to throw her completely under the bus because they know exactly what caused this, and it's everybody's disdain for Rachel Ziegler at this point.
Yeah.
Whether she's just a young kid or not, it doesn't matter at this point. She should have learned after the first 3 or 4 things to shut her mouth, and she just couldn't do it.
I don't know why they didn't cast Phil Collins' daughter. They should have casted Phil Collins' daughter. Sorry, Brahmabull.
Well, it's like what the producer is saying. It was one of the executive producers. It's like, there were a lot more people than Rachel Ziegler that were depending on this movie to be a success because there's a lot of people working on this movie. And for her to basically single-handedly tank the movie, that hurts everybody. Hundreds of people that worked on it.
Yeah. One of the producers literally flew out to New York after she did that to try to tell her to delete it and get her to delete it. And she told one of the producers of the movie, no.
That's this producer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very dumb.
Very like,
And that had
she
nothing
thinks
to
the
do with
world
the
revolves
color.
around her.
Yeah.
No, that had
She's
nothing to do with the
supreme
color of her skin
narcissist.
in any way, shape,
Yeah.
or form. Oh, 100%. Pride before the fall on that one. Because she's done in Hollywood. She is literally done in Hollywood. No one will ever, like, except for like the most, like, she's going back to Broadway right now. Like, what studio in Hollywood would ever hire her after what she did to Disney and how Disney had to deal with her, or lack of being able to deal with her? Like,
Give it 5
dude, I
years
think
and they'll
they hire
reform
her.
her.
Yeah.
Give it
there's a
5
bunch
years and they'll
of-
reform her and bring her back, just like they
She'll
do with
be
everybody
back.
else.
She'll be back. They
We'll see.
At the end of the day, a lot of people secretly agree with her. They probably think she's brave and bold and all that crap. There's definitely, it's just what they'll try to do is like work with her to like get better at her PR, but she'll be back. She's
Got
not going
1.6 stars on IMDb. Damn, bro. That's like the worst.
Worst rating ever for a live action Disney movie.
I want to answer Devastator's question because I know this was half snark, but I don't know if I'm going to buy this game. I like, again, the discussion surrounding like, do I want to just play and enjoy a game? Like, I kind of want to. I don't fully trust Ubisoft, and one of the things I don't like about this game, because again, the functional criticisms of this game is that the over monetization once again by their team. Like, you can buy legendary gear with real money. You can buy a map, like a thing that opens the
So
whole
not
map.
just skins, actual pay to
gear.
play.
Yeah.
So
pay to
it's
play stuff. Make
it's
your game
pay to
easier.
go faster. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, you're not competing against anyone else, but
Well,
like,
yeah, but microtransactions that aren't just cosmetic, but actual functional pieces of the game.
right. And that
Yep.
to me is wrong. Sell as many skins as you want to look like something else, like, transmog, whatever. But when you start like allowing yourself to go quicker through things, that's, like that to me, or you can't earn that thing. Like, you can earn the map, obviously, if you play it, but like all you gotta do is spend money and then you unlock the map and you can see the whole thing. Like, hello, that's not okay. Again, there's mechanics in the game. Like, the stealth looks pretty bad. Do I want to do that and pay and disprove it? Sure. But I don't. Well, the game's pretty expensive. I'll probably wait for it to go on sale.
You could just get like Ubisoft's little streaming service for like $10 and play the game for.
That's how a lot of people are doing
There
it.
is 18. Yeah,
Do the
it's
Ubisoft
$18.
Plus, pay $18, play it for a month.
Yeah,
I might.
Cancel the
that's why they were able
subscription.
to claim 2 million players. Yeah. Not 2 million purchases, not 2 million copies, 2 million copies sold, 2 million players.
Well, they're not lying. They're not lying, at least.
They're not lying. That's true. They're just omitting certain details.
Not telling the truth.
The thing, like, and that's like and this is where I play in my head, like, back and forth, and why some people probably just hate me. If ultimately a bunch of people have fun playing this game, it's a win for Ubisoft. If people keep playing the game, they made a good game, and you can't argue with that necessarily. And just like a game like Cyberpunk or No Man's Sky came out like broken and a bunch of bugs, like that, like, you can improve upon it. Should this game have had the amount of bugs it had with all the delays? Absolutely not. Again, another functional issue I have with the game. With all the delays it had, it shouldn't have come out the way it did. They shouldn't have had to patch, destroying shrines day one. It just shouldn't have been in there. Or like, why are we even caring about that? Like,
I don't know.
Well, all of Japan's pretty pissed.
Slight joking pushback on that is people playing the game doesn't necessarily make it good, because there were a ton of games that I spent money on for the Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Sega that were absolutely crap games, but I played them because I wasn't going to admit that I spent money on crap. And you didn't really get an option back then.
The other difference here with Ubisoft, though, is this game is their make or break. right? If this game fails, which all signs are indicating that it will, its Steam numbers are worse than Dragon Age Veilguard, right? And if that ends up being the case, Ubisoft is going to be bankrupt in 6 months, which is why like their company is already trying to find like an exit strategy and all this other kind of stuff. Ubisoft, as we know it, will not exist probably by the end of the year because this game will tank them, and they've been in the red for years.
They'll probably get
That's
bought out.
I think that's part of the plan. I think one of the things that I'm thinking that might be happening is like Tencent is behind a lot of this stuff, and I think Tencent's trying to purposely bankrupt some of the bigger Western video game companies, so they can buy them out. Because I honestly think that Tencent is an evil corporation. It's a Hydra style group. And it's really, I think it's designed to inject a lot of Western civilization with woke ideology because it's crippling us. And if we're crippled, China can take over the world.
Well, the thing with Ubisoft specifically and Tencent is because of the French minority investors in Ubisoft, there are minority investor rights in France where you must be purchased by a private party if you're going under.
And Bilbo, we've been talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows. By the way, I didn't mean to be like deceptive on it. I thought I said it, but the one thing you'll never get out of these companies either is like actual numbers. Like we can see Steam charts. Like it peaked in the last 24 hours at 37,000 players, all-time peak over the last 4 days. Was 4 days ago at like 64,000.
64,000.
But that's not going to show the console gamers, and
It
it's
doesn't
not going to
show
show the
console.
Ubisoft Plus gamers.
Right.
That's just Steam. It's one small piece.
Right.
Right, but Steam's where everybody actually had to pay full price for the game too.
Right.
And so it's a better representation of how many units they've sold versus 2 million players. That's all I'm saying.
It's still a lot of people playing. I mean, we've in the past been like, there's a million people playing whatever game, and it's like, damn, it's a lot. 1 million to play a game. I hope so. 1 million people play my game when it comes out.
I hope 1 million people buy my comic, buy my book.
I mean,
Right
Banana Simulator had more people playing than Assassin's Creed Shadows over the weekend. So,
how much does Banana Simulator cost? 5?
probably.
What is Banana Simulator? What is this?
You literally just sit there and click a banana the entire time, and like eventually more bananas pop up. I'm not kidding you. It's just that bad. Hell, Tractor Simulator like 25 did better. Tractor Simulator 25 had like 120,000 people playing when it first came out. So,
is that your mic, Jesse? That's doing that? Did anyone else hear that?
Yeah, there's some popping.
There's like some scratchy something.
You're like an old timey radio voice right now because of the crackles.
Let's mute him. Is there anyone else? Brahma, say something.
Okay. What would you like me to talk
Is it
about,
me?
Shags?
Yep, it's you.
Yes, it's you.
Yo popping.
Yeah,
You popping.
Sounds like a short in the cord or something.
Probably. I got to get a new cord for this thing. Hold on. Let me just unplug it and plug it back in.
Did you turn it off and turn it back
Blow
on?
in the end. I mean, at this point, I'm not. And even like the reviews, I don't even like the reviews on Steam, 80% positive. At this point, I don't want games to fail because I want games. I want good games, but I want good games to be made. In just like art, in comics and stuff, a lot of indie titles are killing it right now. Like those are that's the way to check out. It's like these guys are passionate. They don't have the ability to put in tons and tons of hours just to to have a dud. Like these guys are putting in the work, and not all of them are great. Some of them they go unseen, but that's just kind of the way of things. But these big companies, they kind of need a wake up call. Like that's not what we're looking for. We don't really care for those lines of dialogue. We don't really care for, we don't want all these bugs. We don't want all these microtransactions. Just make a great game. Please.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, King Deplorables has a great point. It's like the real losers are the people working in the AAA game industry who work for these companies and just want to make games. And I know a lot of people in the gaming industry are mainly artists, but a couple like producers, some developers, and it's it's scary right now. There's like layoffs happening all the time, trying to get new jobs. Like guys are having to go into marketing and go into other areas of work because the jobs aren't there anymore. The games aren't fun and nobody's happy. That's the thing, is like nobody, like the gamers aren't happy. The game developers aren't happy. I think, are even the publishers happy? Like what is going on?
Right.
No, I've got a. Is it still popping? Is it better now?
Nope.
No, you're
Still popping.
Any better
It's
now?
still going.
That is so fucking weird.
But what were you going to say, Brahmabull?
Oh, I was going to point out, I also wonder, with all those delays and with some of the reviews coming in, how many people have played it deep enough to where you actually get to what a lot of people's complaint was. Yasuke doesn't even come into the game until like a third of the game is done, like 8 hours in.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to play a long time to get to his segment of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm curious about that, whether they swapped around some of the game to bury some of what they were getting criticism about.
Probably.
Maybe. It is possible. Like,
or significantly cut some of his role.
could be. And it sounds like, from what I've seen, and again, I haven't played the game, but it sounds like the assassin, like the Japanese girl, is more the main character. I know it's a dual protagonist and you can switch between the two. But I also heard that the final fight is like Yasuke and some other guy, because someone posted a video of the final fight having some like African music or something.
Tribal music in the background with some rap going on or something.
But I can't verify that that's real. So again, that's
I've
something
seen
else that
the video. Yes.
How's
I
the
don't
game
know
doing in Japan?
probably not.
The prime minister hates it.
I mean, the entire country seems to hate it. They seem very offended by it, actually.
Well, I mean, you're literally able to smash some of their most sacred shrines in the game.
No, they patched that out on day
so.
one.
You can't do it.
Right, I know, but like there was even a report that I saw today saying that one of the prime ministers said like one of their shrines had already been shut down because somebody came in and damaged it. I didn't get a chance to dig into that one too much, so I don't know how much truth is behind
That's been happening for years as Western.
Oh, okay.
They've closed up a
Douchebags.
lot of the things. Yeah, just people like what's his name, Somali,
Oh yeah, the one that's going to go to jail in Korea for a very long time.
right. Idiots like that they're trying to live stream and be complete douchebags in other countries and not abiding by their culture while you're visiting.
But
Has made them shut down stuff.
Here's the thing, and this is where I want to like push my eyeballs in.
Don't do that.
Like even the whole like you're
Did somebody
the prime
just
minister
come
be
in
like
the back?
you're desecrating our shrines in your video game. Like I just want to be like, shut the fuck up, you bitch. Like it's a video game. And
Yeah,
don't give me this
seriously.
crap. Don't sit. None of you sit here and tell me, well, it's not nice to do, because you sound like a woke asshole. I'll just say it right out. Like for real, it's a game, and like every single one of these Assassin's Creed games has taken many liberties with history. Historical fiction does that. I'm in the middle of writing a historical fiction novel that deals in the Civil War era, and it's great. One of the most beautiful things is taking real events and working your narrative into it.
Mhm.
Salty, I'm sure you attest to this.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's the point. Historical fiction is a genre of its own because you can play God with things that have happened. Like it is a fun thing to do. I think it's a little cringe that we had to patch that out. Like, oh my God.
I think I get your point on historical fiction. I think the issue that a lot of people had, the major issue was we've been asking for an Assassin's Creed, or people have been asking for an Assassin's Creed that was based in Japan, that did have a samurai or a ninja,
Right.
and then they decide to crap on that for the first time that they go there
Yep.
by putting
Yeah, that was a
either
lot of people's.
they put a
It's-
female ninja in, which wouldn't exist, and a black samurai, which didn't exist. And
Sorry.
just real quick, I mean, if just for the hell of it, you were allowed to go in and smash crucifixes everywhere all the time, just because, yeah, I think you'd hear some uproar about that too. I mean, these are their religious symbols and stuff.
Mhm.
I agree with what you're saying, that it's a little bit bitchy to be whining about it. But if you were just, snapping crucifixes, I think you'd
Imagine-
have an uproar on that too.
But it's
Well, I was
not.
gonna
Imagine
say,
if you were imagine if you were going into Islamic temples or whatever the hell they call them and doing that. They would never
Mosques.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, not
mosques.
at all.
Going
Yeah,
into
you wouldn't be
mosques
allowed
and
to
just
do
telling them-
anything
you would
about like the
never
call
be
to
able
prayer.
Couldn't do it in the first
or-
game.
No.
Which was in Syria.
Nope.
It's like, seriously, if you're the director of Ubisoft, your go-to for this game is going to actually have the samurai character be basically Toshiro Mifune. Like, why would you not do that? Everyone would have loved it. Everyone, Western audiences, Japan, they would have all, like, you have the Japanese John Wayne. Everyone know who Toshiro Mifune is, right? He's the guy that was in Seven Samurai.
Oh, yeah,
he
yeah,
was in Sanjuro, Yojimbo. Like, he's like the Japanese John Wayne.
Yeah.
You don't have that
Yes.
guy. You don't base your character off that guy. Like, everyone loves that guy. No. Let's just do. It's like you're doing it just to get the
get a rise out of
noise
people.
about it. Yeah, to get, like, it's like,
Mhm.
what are you? You're like the annoying 8-year-old that's like, "Are you annoyed yet? Are you annoyed yet? Are you annoyed yet?" Yeah, knock it off. I'm annoyed.
I'm going to swing my arms like this, and if you get hit, it's your fault.
Yeah.
like,
Oh
dude.
God, exactly. Well, that's the funny part about it is they thought this marketing was going to work, right? Like the entire marketing industry, even as much as the HR departments in a lot of these major corporations got taken over by the diversity, inclusion, and equity cult, like the marketing department was the worst because they're the ones that were telling these executives in the C-suites and stuff like that, oh, this stuff's going to sell. This is the future. This is what the kids want. This is what the next generation is going to be all about. You don't want to get left behind. You want to go after this modern audience, right? There's there's all this untapped potential. And then it turns out that the entire marketing department and the entire HR department was lying to everybody in these executive C-suites and sold them a bill of goods that turned into nothing more than billions of dollars in lost money and revenue. So that's
And
that.
one of the other
that's
places
the
that
funny
people
aspect
got
of it.
pissed was them basically trying to claim, no, this actually did happen. Yasuke,
Right.
it's like, yes, Yasuke existed. Any of the details around that? Basically, that college professor has been like, yeah, I took a lot of liberties.
Yeah. So that is
You basically made
the
up the story.
that is like the criticism again. That's the functional criticism of this whole thing is like you have a real person, but like you had so many other people that you could have used to make this like
Yeah.
a Japanese game. Like even if you
Right.
shifted that focus away from like Yasuke could be a part of it for sure.
Yeah.
But like the real protagonist should have been the Asian girl who's actually an assassin with a hidden blade. Like that should be your person because that's what it's all about. At least, like again, you're paying respect to the former audience, bringing in new people for the modern audience, and then everyone can have it their way. But this is no one's talking about that part. I mean, people are talking about it, but like that is the real issue. Again, any
Well, we
creative
had that
liberties-
talk a year ago.
yeah. Any of the creative
Yeah,
liberties you
literally.
take is like, okay, but the real issue is you chose people who are like historically adjacent to Japan.
Poor representatives for the story you were going to tell.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
can we
Well, it's
stop with the female protagonist? Like, I don't want
Right.
to play a game where I'm playing a girl. Like, it's weird, man. I don't understand these guys that like playing games where they're playing a girl.
No.
Like, the one time I played a girl character was in World of Warcraft because I thought it would be hilarious to name her Punky Pewster. That's the only time because it was a joke. Like, I don't get why Lara Croft is. I'm sorry, maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm just an old fuddy-duddy. But it's like, really? Can we stop with the female protagonist all the time? It's
I'm
just-
fine with having both options, and quite often I do play the girl. And what is the girl's name? Shags? Do you remember my female characters' names?
I don't.
They are all named Strumpet.
Strumpet. That's right. Yeah.
Why?
Strumpet.
It's
This
just
whore.
it's just an old name for a whore.
Yeah. I always think of what's his name? Walter from The Big Lebowski because he
Yeah.
but he-
That's
is so great.
hilarious, man.
No, but I'm with you on that one, Salty too. I never really understood that. I know I've seen plenty of guys that play Fortnite and they're like they play chicks in the game and I'm like, well, would you rather look at a dude's ass the entire time? I'm like, it's a video game character.
I'm not looking at their backside. I'm looking at the damn
right.
game.
Right, and don't I've checked out plenty of female characters in games before, and stuff like that. But it's also one of those things. It's like, no, I just if I'm playing a game, I'd rather play as a dude. That's just the way I am. You know what I mean? So it's just I always thought it was kind of odd too.
Say it's gay, I don't care.
I think it's worked in the past. Like, the initial games where you're Desmond and then you're Ezio, and then the later games they started, asking you like, do you want to, male or female? I'm okay with the choice, of your ancestor. Like, I don't think that's bad at all. Like,
choice is
with
better.
male and female.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of, you can't do that anymore. But that's why I like RPGs, because it's like you eliminate a lot of the DEI stuff if you just have character creation. Like, just character creation. I'll make my own character, and then you don't even have to have the debate.
Oh, I hate character creation. Please end
I love
that.
bad.
No, I just go with defaults, but
I normally I spend like maybe 3 or 4 minutes.
Unless there's a tit and ass slider, it's default.
Looking at the
What's up, Rankin?
Get in here, motherfucker.
What are you doing, Rankin?
Oh, Rankin Knight, man. What up, dude?
Hey, dude, I love date night in Cyberpunk.
Oh my god.
Pan Am looks great in her underwear, man. I'm just telling you what. I'm just saying.
That also I don't get, like the sex in games. I'm like, really? Like, guys, I don't know why. Like Mass Effect 2, they're like, oh, you could have
points
sex
for
with
it.
them. I don't care, man. I want to have sex with real women. I don't want to have sex with fake women.
I do that
They turn
plenty.
sex into a rhythm
That's
game.
good. You passed the test.
Oh my gosh.
Too many guys have too many fleshlights. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's like, I like my comic books like I like my
Hey,
women.
that's for stamina
held in my
training.
hand.
Yep.
That's for stamina
That's for
training.
stamina training. That's horrible. Oh well.
I did want. Well, Reckon said he's gonna be here in like 10 minutes. I guess we'll wait for him to talk about this since he's Rumble. But I have a feeling I know his answer. But we can talk about. I don't have it saved here, but I did see that it looks like Daily Wire is like
In
in
trouble.
death throws.
I'm gonna be right back. I have
now
thoughts on
gone.
this. I gotta be right back. I have thoughts on this. But yes, I'm excited to talk about it.
Okay.
So yeah, the president is now out as well after CEO Jeremy Boring stepped down, or was told to step down, and the president stepped down because of the financial hardships that the company is apparently in.
So is it just me, or did that always seem like a severely they were like, I get where some of the people came from in the background, but it's just like when they tried going full bore and having everybody in one giant studio and everybody's shows doing that kind of stuff, and like lacked a lot of the independence and made everything centralized. It's just like, man, they seemed like they were spending way too much money on all
Their
of
movies, I think, tanked them. That would
it
be my
was
guess.
Jeremy Boring and his really wanting to be Hollywood.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because we said just write good movies.
Yeah,
and I've talked to a few people who have worked at the Daily Wire, and they can't come out and say things because it's the Daily Wire. But yeah, there's not a lot of fans of Jeremy, and there's not a lot of fans of some of the backstage politics that goes on at the company. Yeah, I mean, who's going to be fine is all the main show's producers and Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, all of them are going to be fine, even if the Daily Wire does go under. But at the moment, it sounds like there are some investment companies looking to try to buy them. At least that's the rumor, and get rid of some of that debt. And I don't know that we're ever going to see the Daily Wire Snow White. I don't know if they ever got it into the can or not. Because the original plan was to air it at the same time that Disney Snow White was going on and put it head to head.
Oh,
but that starred Brett Cooper.
Anyway. Yeah, Brett Cooper's gone, so she's
right. But they're still planning on airing the Pendragon cycle, which also starred Brett Cooper. And that
Really?
one is in the can. They went and filmed it well, Snow White was supposedly being filmed at the same time as the Pendragon cycle overseas. So, I mean, they had on location shoots going on for everything. So, yeah, I mean, I think the way Snow White's performing, if Daily Wire did have it, it could have actually been a pretty good counter programming to the Disney Snow White, the way it's performing in the theaters right now. But
Yeah, they could have made a lot of money off that, and they fucked all that shit up.
Salty, you had some thoughts?
Well, so you guys are saying, sorry, I had to go to the bathroom because I'm like, dude, how do you guys stream so long and not go to the bathroom?
We're only a third of the way into it.
But
The reason why I
I
go
have the
off-
bladder.
Giggles like, I'm in trouble.
I have the bladder of a pregnant woman, so I might be taking another break.
Yeah,
But so is
you
Daily
the king
Wire?
room of mine.
Is Daily Wire? You guys, do you think the rumors are true that Daily Wire is financially in dire straits?
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe that
It
was
would-
the announced reason why the
So-
president stepped down.
It wouldn't surprise me just because it feels like everything they've been doing, they've been spending way more money than they could have ever possibly have brought in with what they've been trying to produce over the last few years.
And I think that they've been spending that money very poorly and stupidly. So just a little inside baseball, just with dealing with some of the bigger conservative company names. Like I created and developed a pretty successful kids book for PragerU, which was narrated by some Daily Wire people, and just a little bit of the backstory of just seeing how a lot of this stuff operates. There is no, like, we think Hollywood is cynical, and we think Hollywood, is kind of like not necessarily caring about artists, caring about the story. It's worse on the right. Like, these big companies have no care about what makes a good story. It's all about, they look at art, they look at the arts, they look at animation, they look at movies, they look at television shows as another product that's produced in a factory. If they can get that product made cheaply in China, they'll do it, import it in, and then sell it to a disenfranchised audience or disenfranchised market that will easily lap it up. And literally, these people, you meet some of these executives, you talk to them, and they're like, it doesn't matter if it's good. We just need to get it out. We don't need to spend a lot of time on it trying to make it really the best thing. We just need to get something out and in their hands because they'll buy it no matter what. And that is the attitude. And that is, I think, the attitude. I'm meeting some of the executives at Daily Wire, interacting with them and hearing them talk. They've hired some really dumb executives. They've hired some really cynical executives that I think have failed upwards. And because they worked in Hollywood at like a low level, and they're conservative, they got hired because, I worked at Warner Brothers. I worked at this place. And the decisions that they're making, they don't even want to produce anything original. They don't want to hire talented people in the States. Like when Adam Carolla, when they produced his cartoon,
Mr. Burcham.
that was an old script that they did. They did all the art development. Like, I understand doing the day-to-day animation in like Toronto or Taiwan or Spain, because it's a lot cheaper to do that kind of manual labor animation. But like all of your storyboarding and all your concept art and all your development, so you're like your pre-production art and stuff, that needs to be made in the same studio where you have your writers and your voice actors, because you really need to be in the writer's room. It's comedy. You have to be in the writer's room figuring it out, working the lines out with the actors, at least for a little bit, for some of that chemistry. That's why everything felt really like canned and cheesy, and it wasn't good because there's no.
I kind of liked Mr. Burcham.
It wasn't. I'm sorry, it just wasn't good. It wasn't funny. The jokes were.
It wasn't the greatest thing.
No, but it could have been so much better if they just take the same approach that you do with a lot of stuff, like Family Guy. Like, just copy the way that they produce something. But they're like, no, we can do it in a factory in Brazil and it's fine. And it's like, you have cultural differences, dude. You're producing this crap in a communist country, so the jokes aren't even going to land because the animation storyboard, all the story is being developed overseas. So there was that, and then it was like, let's just pick up shows that people have already done that failed because they weren't good. So we'll buy those up, and then we'll have Bentkey, and then you can consume all this like mediocre shit instead of us developing something good. It's
Well, Lady Ballers sucked.
Yeah, and the amount of talent that's in Friends of Abe, which Jeremy Boring was running with Gary Sinise, which was a secret group of conservatives, of talented conservatives. You don't get on the Rolodex of that and go, we're going to make stuff. Like, you're like, nah, we're not going to hire any of those people. Like, are you crazy? Like, it's absolutely, the decisions they've made have been absolutely terrible, dude.
Alongside this, though, I mean, Daily Wire still is a net good for the right. As far as the commentary, some of the fights that they've taken up, what is a woman? Am I racist? That kind of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, the creators. Daily Wire is putting out stuff that is a net good for the right. But yeah, as far as their entertainment division, even hiring Gina Carano, we all love Gina, but that movie was not good. I don't care what anybody says. That was a bad movie.
And that was sad because
Lady
that had Nick
Ballers was
Searcy in
bad.
it.
About the only good thing that I think that they put out, and it's still mixed on how people receive it, wasn't done by them. Run, Hide, Fight was actually a pretty interesting movie.
Yeah.
But that was not them. That was them just buying the distribution rights.
Right.
So they have not produced anything outside of Matt Walsh's 2 documentaries, which were actually worth a crap as far as their film side. Right. They should have stuck with keeping the podcast going, doing all that, making their, $69.99 off of everybody for a year for their subscriptions or whatever they're charging. Bank your $100 million, pay out. I don't understand the reason that they went out and got Jordan Peterson or Candace. They were already big enough that they didn't need the Daily Wire. I mean, it could have been them wanting to do stuff with them, but I mean, I'm sure they're getting paid a pretty hefty penny. And because Jordan Peterson is a big voice, Candace Owens was a big voice, and Brett Cooper was their biggest voice at this point. If you didn't have Jordan Peterson and Candace on the payroll any of that time or be making the movies, you retained Brett Cooper.
It's just like, why though aren't you tapping Andrew Klavan for scripts and stuff?
Right?
Like, that's the thing. Is
Klavan
like,
has stepped so far back there, though.
No, he stepped so far back because he's been trying to work on the Pendragon and other stuff, and it's like, I really feel so. Like, honestly, like the gossip or whatever, the vibe that I'm feeling though is that they kind of like just pushed him to the side and don't really even take him seriously, because there's like, I don't feel like anyone's listening to him, because I'm pretty sure that conversation goes a lot different if they, or that the direction they go is a lot different if they actually even somewhat listen to him, and I don't think they are. And I think you're seeing the results of it, because it's just like, you're a disappointment. I'm sorry, you guys are a giant it's just not. No,
I'm wondering if some of them separating from Klavan a little bit is his stance on his son.
Maybe. But he's working on the Pendragon too, so it's like, you hired the guy.
His son or him?
Yeah. No, they hired his son, yeah.
Okay.
His
son's, if I remember correctly, his son is gay.
Yeah.
And he has very specific stances that would go against many of the other hosts about gay marriage and other things.
Yeah. Yeah, he's but he got hired by the Daily Wire to be the linguist, like doing a lot of the different languages and stuff, and for the Pendragon. So they hired him too. So maybe they don't have a problem. Jeremy Boring's been out spoken in supporting him. I don't know if that's a thing. If it is, that's unfortunate. I mean,
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
No, totally
possible. Who knows?
Yeah,
we're not getting a lot out of them. They're just kind of making moves and getting rid of people, and maybe in financial trouble, maybe other things going on. But I've heard it's not a nice place to work.
I just feel they've hired a lot of bad executives, I think, like really just not good executives. And then the people that they have hired, like I know one person in particular, they were very, very talented executive in Hollywood, and were part of a company that did some really amazing stuff. And I know the quality of that work that they did in Hollywood, and you're not seeing that same exact stuff that they're doing. I'm not seeing that quality, and I'm like, are you even utilizing them? Like, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. I don't know, Shags, you never actually never mind, he's gone.
Oh.
Again.
But yeah, I had a lot of hopes. I wish that they would I just wish I guess for me, I don't know enough of the inside scoop on it, but I feel like they're just underutilizing Andrew Klavan in a really big way because he's an amazing fiction writer. He's an amazing true crime writer. And his books are just, every one of them is enjoyable. They've turned into great movies. And I'm just like, what is going on, guys?
Well, as far as his show, he is the one who chose to step back and do only a Friday show, as far as I understand.
Yes,
so he could concentrate on his writing and other stuff. Mm-hmm. He was far more involved with them when he was doing a every other day show or daily show, because he was more like one of the other hosts. I don't know if it's just because he's doing a smaller work schedule that, you know, he doesn't seem as involved or not, but
well, I think it's because of the writing. He's got more books coming out, and you know, and that's obviously that's what he's focusing on. But it's like, why aren't you taking one of his books and making it a show, making it a movie? You know, like, come on.
He may not trust them to make it well.
Yeah, he might. That's true. That is a good point.
No shit.
He's seen Lady Ballers and the rest of the stuff that they put out.
Dude, so Lady Ballers, they hired some writers from BoJack Horseman, and then Jeremy Boring came in and kind of basically like trumped all of their writing and like stonewalled a lot of them and took control of it. You could
tell.
And you could tell because BoJack Horseman is hilarious, and you're like, wait, what happened?
You mean to tell me an executive came in and screwed with the creatives and messed everything up? Salty, that would never happen.
All the same mistakes that Hollywood makes, and you're like, why?
But that was the whole thing, was he wasn't just being an executive. He wanted to star in the movie. He wanted to direct the movie, and he wanted to write the movie.
Yeah.
And Lady Ballers was a piece of trash. Funny was,
ego and narcissism.
I'm the Daily Wire shill out of everybody whose shows I was on, and a lot of people liked Lady Ballers far more than I did. I was like, no, there is nothing redeeming about this movie. They were a lot lighter on it than I was.
It didn't look interesting.
I hammered it.
Real quick,
the funniest parts were in the trailer.
I do want to say hi to Raken. What's up, dude? I haven't seen you in a bit.
What's up?
I got to stream with this guy on Cody Dennison's 24-hour kickoff of his comic, which I did a cover for and was quite cool.
Hell
yeah.
That was a cover. Can't wait to get it into my hands.
Yeah. Oh, you got one? Cool. Awesome.
Giggity.
Real quick. So we got a $20 tip from Nerd. Is that you, Jesse?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Since I can't make it to Vegas, hopefully that helps out with getting something. And I know direct donations. You don't have near as much of the cut as YouTube likes to take, so that'll help go a little farther with all that. But yeah, since I can't make it out there, tell Horror and Amarada, tell Horror and Shags or Sheep, I love them. So
hopefully we get enough donations that we can get them a nice gift, and then also get everybody a nice gift of a bottle of bourbon to share at the reception.
Fred was like a little extra bourbon for the app.
Because I'm going to get a nice bottle for it, but yeah.
We're 6 away from our super chat goal for the days. I think it's $5 or more to go towards that goal. Any amount, if you can help out. I pinned the direct donation link if you want. Or you can do the super chat, whatever you like. But this is going towards a wedding gift for Horror Amarada and Sheep Obsidian as they are getting married out there. And I wanted to do a community gift because this channel grew exponentially due to their help. So if you want to be a part of that gift, I will make sure that your name, all the people who donate, their name will go on the card. I will sign your name as well.
Also, I believe their wedding is going to be live streamed.
It will be live streamed.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So people who are not going to be there physically can still participate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's going to be at this point, but we'll find out details sooner or later.
Probably
Horror's channel.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be on Horror's channel.
But
she doesn't like to do anything on his channel.
But no, thank you guys so much for your help so far. We've done really great. I'm super stoked. But let's try and hit there if we can. We will. But we got some time. We're still rolling. It's only 11:30.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the Daily Wire thing is interesting, but yeah,
it's one of those things. I think you're going to see a lot of that kind of happen with. And this is independent media in general, right? Like the ones that You spend too much, you think you're too big for your riches, and you end up going down in flames because of it. That's why like you keep things small, you keep things contractors. You don't hire, don't try to hire people on salary. Don't try to keep these people like. I think that's one of the reasons why the Blaze has done, at least quasi okay and survived as long as they have, because they were around, long before the Daily Wire, as far as like having all these extra personalities and having all these shows and everything else. Glenn was one of the first.
They
ones
had
to
a
do
lot
it.
of people jump ship too at one
they
point.
had
They have, but
massive exodus because they tried to do the entertainment thing and they did all the same mistakes that the Daily. It's like no one's learning from the mistakes, and that's the problem.
Yep.
Well, the thing I do like about what Daily Wire has done, I don't like the I wish the movie stuff and the shows would have worked out, because it would be nice to have another alternative to Hollywood. What I do like is their writing. Most of the journalists that they have over there are very good. I did want to point something out since he brought up the Blaze. Did you guys notice that Gary was on with Glenn Beck?
Oh yeah,
They
made it.
So now we've got a Blaze connection, not just a Piers Morgan connection going on in the fellowship.
Gary's been on with Glenn Beck several times. He's been on with Glenn several times over the last couple of years. Oh yeah, because I
that was the first time I've caught him.
Oh no, yeah,
Say what,
he's been on
Riken?
there several times in the past.
Quarter Black, he has his show on the Blaze.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that's where the connection is there to where Eric July is also a guest on Sarah Gonzalez's show constantly. So there's a lot of intermix with the fellowship, but I hadn't seen anybody do anything with, Beck. I guess if Gary has before, sure.
Is Sarah Gonzalez not on the Blaze anymore? Sorry.
Yeah, she is. She is, and Eric July is on with her quite a bit.
Is there 5 o'clock? Is her 5 o'clock show still going? Because I thought she was doing her own thing now.
Did she step away?
Well, it's not that she stepped away. It's that they got in trouble.
She's doing like an uncensored thing on her own channel, but she's still doing the Blaze thing, as far as I know.
I haven't checked in at the 5 o'clock hour in a long time, mostly because I'm working or dealing with kids.
I'm so busy anymore with doing shows every night that I don't get to watch all the crap that I used to watch to keep up on news. So
yeah, I'm the same way.
That's the bad part about jumping into the YouTube thing is a whole bunch of extra time that you had to watch things before now is taken up by being on things. So.
Dude, I haven't caught Friday Night Tights in probably almost a month at this point, which I feel horrible for because they've had a lot of great guests. But yeah, that's what happened.
Greg, Blaze used to be CRTV. It was Mark Levin's thing.
No. Okay,
they merged.
So what happened was you had Glenn Beck TV is what it started out as, right? And GBTV is what it was, the very first iteration of it. And then when they started to bring other people on, they turned it into the Blaze. And then what happened is the Blaze and CRTV essentially merged, and it became, and that's when it became the Blaze.
But he's asking if it was the same company as PJTV.
No.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't think so. It was the Blaze merged with CRTV with Mark Levin and those guys, and made a conglomerate. But I don't know about PJTV.
Outside of Steve Dace and one of the other guys, I don't even think Clavin really does much on the Blaze anymore. Or not Clavin, but Levin does much on the Blaze anymore. It's mostly just Steve Dace is pretty much the only one left from like the CRTV days that actually has like a predominant show, because he comes on right after Glenn, and I love Steve Dace. Steve Dace is great.
Yeah, he's cool. He's pretty good. PJTV is back. I think they're doing PJ TV 2.0, I think, or something like that. I know a few of the guys that used to be part. It's kind of like they do articles, and the Bill Whittle used to do some really good videos. Jeremy Boring was associated with PJTV. A lot of the people from PJTV went to Daily Wire to start Daily Wire because those guys were doing so well. But I think they're going to actually be making a comeback. It's good stuff. I don't know where Bill Whittle. I don't know if you guys know who Bill Whittle is, but he was making a lot of videos back in the day that were really effective. He's got the worst voice for it. He's did a lot of stuff for like crime and guns and all that. None of you guys have ever heard of PJTV?
No.
They were associated with Breitbart.
Must have been before. Bit. Okay.
Yeah.
That was probably when Drudge Report was still the Drudge Report instead of going completely.
Yeah, I don't
Never
know
Trump.
that guy.
And that's where I used to get the news, that kind of news before it went nuts. But no, Common Nerd, your popping has not gotten better.
No, not at all.
Not even a little.
I would like. I mean, the only person. Okay, let me start over. I want to see a group actually take on the entertainment industry that's not from a political standpoint. And I know, I mean, the Epic Verse is attempting to do that, but it's a slow roll at this point, like how that's going. But that's the start. Like, I would like to see an actual group of guys, girls, whatever, people take on Hollywood adjacent stuff, just get back to writing good movies without political agenda, just good stories. Again, I mean, whether it be books, whether it be comics, video games, we just got to get back to writing good original stories because we're lacking that. It's all about adapting something for the screen, which they keep saying, like, oh, this is original thing, but it's adapted for the screen. Like, that's not original. You took someone else's idea and you wrote it for the screen. Like, yes, it kind of, like, you can't like one-to-one things all the time, but it's still, it's derived from something else. And it sucks because a lot of times this stuff goes unnoticed, but like Black Bag just came out. Like, from what I hear, it's a great film, but it had terrible marketing and nobody knew about it. It's like a Michael Fassbender movie, like spy thriller type thing, and nobody knew it came out, so it didn't do well. And
well, Taylor Sheridan, Taylor Sheridan definitely has a lot of right-wing messaging in the shows, or at least talking points, but he also, presents it, with the counterpoints a lot of the times. And he's half of Hollywood right now. I mean, he's got 20 shows. Everything that Paramount does is essentially Taylor Sheridan. So I mean, you are seeing some guys get their shot, and they're hitting it out of the ballpark.
I am seeing stuff come back. Like, there's another like Guy Ritchie Underworld thing coming out, Mobland, for it's like Pierce Brosnan, Tom Hardy, and Helen Mirren. Like, holy shit, what a cast! Like, those three alone is like powerhouse. So like that, like, I want to see, that's the kind of stuff I want to see more of that. And it seems like we are getting more from Hollywood, which is awesome.
Angel Studios has been doing some good stuff too.
Right. Like, I mean,
some bad stuff, some good stuff.
There was something
more good than bad, I think.
There was something they just announced the other day that had a bunch of like kind of famous actors that kind of surprised me. I'll have to look it up and find out what it is.
It's the King of Kings. I already watched it and reviewed it. It's a kid's story of Christ. Mark Hamill.
That's the Charles Dickinson one, right?
Yes, Charles Dickens.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill voices Herod. So there's some crossover there, since Herod ordered all the newborn babies to be killed, or all the newborn boys to be killed, and Mark Hamill basically told his son to do that, or have his daughter-in-law do that, or I can't remember.
It was his girl. It was the son's girlfriend at the time.
Son's girlfriend. Yeah.
Abort the baby.
So, yep.
Kill the baby in the womb. Yeah.
But yeah, we reviewed it on the Christian panel with Gary Smith last week.
That's awesome.
It's actually a very good, very young kids story of Christ. It's good. Above about 8 or 9 years old. You're not going to care. It can work as a good refresher for an adult watching it with little kids. But the cast is ridiculous. Mark Hamill, Oscar Isaacs. There's probably 20 big names.
Is that the one that Pierce Brosnan's doing? Oh,
Pierce Brosnan is Pilate in that.
Right? Yeah.
Pontius Pilate, yeah. And he actually does a great job. The only person who does a pretty bad job is Oscar Isaacs being Christ.
Really? Bummer, man. You got to have a good Christ, right?
Yeah, you gotta have
you can definitely hear it's straight Oscar Isaac, and he tries to do like the calm, peaceful Christ thing. The typical when somebody tries to voice Christ instead of having any emotion, and it comes off as a robot. Yeah, you can absolutely, when Herod is on the screen, it's Mark Hamill doing the Joker. I mean, before I saw who it was in the credits, it was like, yeah, that's Mark Hamill doing the Joker, and I was shocked that he would be in a movie like this.
Real quick, thank you to Beast for 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you, bro. Awesome.
That's $25.
Yes, sir.
$25. That ain't cheap.
No. Good man.
But yeah, and that's one of those things too. It's like that is kind of surprising that you'd see people in stuff like that. But at the exact same time, we also know Mark Hamill isn't getting a whole lot of work right now, and so they got to take paychecks where they can get them. And hey, if that paycheck comes from Angel Studios, well, hey, guess what? Their morals and their values didn't matter all that much because we all know where Angel Studios and the majority of their executives line politically. And guess what? Mark Hamill still took a paycheck from them.
I don't know that it was made by Angel Studios, though, or if it's being distributed by Angel Studios. I'm not sure on that point.
I don't think it is. I think it's
Either way, he's still taking a paycheck from them in one form or another. Like, even if they're distributing it, like, he's involved with them. He's directly connected to this company that is obviously very much against all of his politics. So
I do find it frustrating, though.
Go for it.
I do find it frustrating, though, that like when a studio like Angel Studios, if they are, producing it, I think someone else is, hires people that are, super woke, super left, because there's so many talented people that share their political views that are ostracized, blacklisted, struggling, can't be vocal, can't do a lot of stuff, who've actually just been canceled. It would be great to hire those people first, instead of some of these more horrendous SJWs.
Right, but if you're going to create a counter Hollywood, or try to, then getting some of those big names from Hollywood sometimes can also be a boon, in that it's like, okay, well, this guy's involved with this company or has done things for this company, and it gives you a little bit of a note of legitimacy, maybe.
Yeah, that is an excellent point. I'm not going to argue,
because I would love to see all the people who are not getting work get that job too. But if they're not getting work and they're not known, does it lend any, gravitas to the actual project?
So I would say definitely, like, for like voice acting and stuff, you definitely want to have, that's why you hire the voice. That's why like all these animated films now have like big names, because I don't know if that does bring in a lot for really good animated stories. I still think a good story, compelling story that moves people is still a lot bigger of a draw than someone voicing a character. But I could be wrong. I'm a little bit partial to the artists, not necessarily the actors.
Yeah, I get that, especially in a very little kids movie.
Yeah.
So we've got Pierce Brosnan, Oscar Isaac, Kenneth Branagh does Charles Dickens, Uma Thurman, Mark Hamill, Ben Kingsley, Forrest Whitaker.
There's one that I thought was really cool.
There's some big names in that. The interesting thing, though, is they all sound exactly like themselves. They're not really voice acting. They're talking.
What was that? What was that?
I'm sorry, I had to check. We spent like a good amount of time, I think, last week looking at those memes of JD Vance, and that one just popped up. I just was laughing because like Kyle Kalinske posted that as like some own to conservatives, but like we think those are fucking hilarious. So
yeah, we're willing to laugh at ourselves.
Right.
Look at what the memers do to all of us. We think it's hilarious when things get memed.
17,000 subs. Good wow, sorry, 1,700 subs. Congratulations.
Lord say the same one of these days, hopefully. But yeah, the new channel just crossed 1,700 subscribers. So shout out to everybody out there in the chat that subscribed this evening. Nice. Thank you guys.
So you don't need me anymore?
You shut your whole mouth. I need every one of you. I cannot do this without every single one of you, which is what I say in every one of my videos. Don't leave me, please. Sorry. I have attachment issues.
You wanted to talk about something once Riken got here?
Oh,
about Rumble?
What was that?
I don't know, man. It had to do with Rumble because, Riken's our resident Rumbler for the most part. Before we do that, we gotta, dude, for real. The Beast, $10 more for the fund. Split the super and the gifted with horror and sheep. Yeah, of course. Wedding gift goal. We need a good old zero fucks given comedy that when we'll know we are healing as a society. Remain blessed, gentlemen. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes. Yeah, except you misread it.
Yep. Wait, what?
He
Comedy.
spelled it. He spelled it like Gary pronounces it. Horror.
Oh, Aurora.
Amarada.
True. Thank you very much, man. Really appreciate the 5 gifted subs and the 10. I really appreciate that, man. Okay, so
Madhouse Retro is just asking for a beatdown in the chat.
John Wick 4 is perfect. He won't stop saying it.
It's like the 4th time John Wick 4 is the perfect. No,
We're gonna get it. You're gonna get banned here in a second.
John Wick 4 is a piece of crap. And I
actually
like
got-
John
Madhouse
Wick.
made a lot of my Madhouse made a bunch of my t-shirts. Don't you dare!
I actually got to work on some of the marketing for that, and I saw it without a lot of the special effects, and there was a lot of special effects filling in for those fight scenes, and it was
A lot of
I
stairs.
was like, oh, that overhead shot was great, but the movie
Yeah.
overall wasn't that good.
I love every odd numbered John Wick. Every even numbered I've hated.
So 1 and 3.
Yes.
Correct. So I'm gonna count the ballerina as 5. Hopefully it's good.
So far the trailer looks pretty good, and Amedeo Armas, she's really fucking hot. So, and that was another one of those movies. They reshot a bunch of that too, because it was probably gonna be one of those. She was gonna be a girl boss kind of nonsense, and they were like, "Yeah, this shit ain't working." So that was
They went to
another one
gunplay.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
she is
they
a girl
reshot
boss.
Right, but they reshot a bunch of that movie because there's even some scenes in the trailer where she gets the shit kicked out of her.
Step on
She's
me,
a girl
mommy.
boss if she's hand-to-hand fighting everybody. If she's doing gunplay, guns are the equalizer for women.
Yes.
Amen to that.
Hell yeah.
Amen to that.
So, what I wanted to talk about basically was, it's this tweet here. What do you call two Irish lesbians? Gaelic. Got it.
As an Irishman, I am offended.
Hold on, I got a good one
Irishman
for
and a
that too.
Scottishman, I'm not. I'm trying
Here you go.
Scott.
That's how funny that one was. We'll give you Jim Carrey. Okay, so this I almost like wrote something on this because I know people are frustrated on Rumble, especially the gaming community to some extent. It's
The
always
gaming
like,
community is always frustrated at Rumble
yeah.
for one reason or another.
The problem, what I'm gathering a lot of times from some of the streamers, and the same thing happened with Twitch, like when it was after it switched from Justin TV to Twitch, there was a lot of growing pains with the community of like, what have you done for me today? Why aren't you doing more for me, the little guy? And I saw Bearded Gamer said, people say gaming creators need to work harder on Rumble and the success will come, and it's not Rumble's job to help you, while Rumble just replaced their largest stream with some daily caller journo rando and are pushing him to near the top single-handedly by giving him some of the most the hottest political guests in the right-wing populist movement. If Rumble wanted to push gaming content to the top 25 charts, they could, so kindly save me your bullshit. Also have a good night. So my initial thought on this is like my thoughts overall, not my initial, my thoughts overall are I still believe that Rumble is not really responsible to push you to the top. They're responsible for building out the gaming side of their website. Because when I went there I think I went on the mobile app recently, and even on the website, and gaming is sort of hidden off to the side. Like you have to scroll over to it to find like the gaming category.
Well,
There's not a carousel for gaming.
I don't. Well, there's a few things there. One, I don't think Rumble has a responsibility at all to help grow any individual creator. No responsibility at all. But what I think Rumble has a responsibility of doing is trying to at least push themselves or advertise themselves to a broader audience, and they're just not doing that. They just keep going back to catering towards political streamers and just advertising. We're a politics website.
Yeah.
And every time they try to take that step into, hey, we're more than politics, it's like usually like one step forward, two steps back,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
And
And
if they actually like try to push themselves to a broader audience and try to actually expand on getting more people to come over to the platform, then the opportunity to grow on Rumble will greatly increase, and then people might have the opportunity to become big and do like streaming full time on Rumble. That's not political. That's all I want Rumble to do, and like what I think they should be doing.
Yeah.
And then on the mobile app, recently they've updated the mobile app. I don't like it. Like other than like okay, we're gonna put the feature video right at the very top. That's the first thing you're gonna see. I get it, but then like the moment you scroll down, your feed is nothing that has to do with what you follow, which is what it should be, or it should be recommending you, or should be some algorithm that's recommending you something.
it's their categories, not what you have tried to cater.
Yeah. And so I'm
their
like,
algorithm shit.
like I have to go.
There
to
is no
my
algorithm.
feed.
That's the thing.
Well, like I have to go to my feed just to see the channels that I follow. Like on the homepage, it's nothing that I follow. It's all what they want to show you.
Yeah,
And that's
really
the thing.
annoying.
Rumble
Yeah, it's
does
like,
not
okay.
have an algorithm, so it's literally whatever they promote goes up to the front.
Yeah.
Which is why a year and a half ago, lots of us that were early adopters were making the front page every week, because it would just cycle the front page through the category. You selected a category. Like if I selected sports for my bourbon and boarding show on Saturday nights, I would make the front page at some point during my show. And I would get 1,500 to 2,000 views because it was on the front page, because the count views really goofy as well.
Yep.
But there is no algorithm. So they just show you what they want to show you. And what they used to do was have it cycle through any creator that was live in each category. Now they are manually placing the political shows up on the featured, doing that kind of stuff. When they were signing some of the gamers, some of the big Twitch gamers and, giving them contracts, they would put them up there to the detriment of everybody who had been there and had been working on it. They don't have a responsibility to help you out, but at the same time, they're actively squashing some people and some categories.
Well, I feel like they're actively squashing everybody except for their chosen few.
Yeah. Like if you want people to succeed on Rumble, it's like your homepage on your mobile app can't just be all politics. It has to be either they need to get an algorithm that caters towards putting similar content to what you watch, or they need to do something to where like there is opportunity for you to discover something on Rumble other than politics on the front page.
This is what I mean.
Homepage.
Twitch, this is the same thing. The same exact conversation was being had at Twitch when it started gaining popularity after it changed names. And
I mean, I'm not really a fan of Twitch's UI either for their mobile.
Right. No, and I'm not saying that, I'm not like praising Twitch at the moment, but like what I'm saying is I don't know that there is the best, like I don't know what the way is to promote these live streams. Like honestly, if Rumble wants to.
He froze. Ultimately, what you really need is for Rumble to not put their finger on the scale, and they either need to get an algorithm that does cater your feed to you like YouTube does, or they need to keep it randomized. Sure, they can have their featured bar somewhere up there, but then everything else should be let everybody cycle through. Mm-hmm. If you're not going to have an algorithm, keep your finger off the scale. Maybe you keep Dr. Disrespect on the gaming one, and then 4 other random creators that cycle through based on who has the most views at the moment or who's been live the longest, whatever. But if you're not going to integrate the algorithm to cater a feed, then you're not going to get anybody coming over for anything other than what they initially came over for. And if that's politics, they're not going to go search out gaming.
Is Rumble, I guess the question I have, because I'm not even sure anymore, Is Rumble a live streaming platform or is it a VOD
Yes.
platform?
Live streaming only for the most part.
They focus mainly on live streaming, but you can upload videos there.
And you can create a playlist for people to look at. But
See,
it doesn't even have to be your stuff. I mean, if
See,
somebody
yeah, but
clicks
you're-
on your playlist, it can be any other channel included in your playlist. Whatever you decide is on your playlist.
But this is my
Yeah,
point.
It's
like
primarily
I've been on this platform for 3+ years, and I still don't understand like what their real mission is with the site. Like, are you trying to be a VOD site like YouTube and combat like that other side, or are you trying to be a live streaming platform? Because they're two very different things.
I think
And
because
go ahead.
Rumble's been around for a minute, so I think they started out as being a VOD website, and that's their kind of origins. But they kind of like, as of 2020, they've really just tried to jump into the live streaming space, because that was where everything was kind of going, with Twitch and YouTube and
Yep.
now Kick.
As YouTube
Like-
was punishing live streams, they were like, okay, live stream here.
Yeah. So they're just kind of really trying to jump into that, and they've kind of just neglected their VODs ever since.
And really, you can't go search something on Rumble all that well. Even like trying to find a creator, if you don't type it exactly right, you're not getting there.
That
Yeah.
search engine is
You are not
dumb.
getting there. Yeah, their search engine is horrible. So that's why it was never going to work as a VOD site. They really are primarily live streams. And in fact, I can go back and look at my last 2.5 years of live streams. There are no extra views after the live stream is done. Like, nobody goes and searches out your live stream as a VOD afterwards. It happens live, and that's where it gets any view. After that, it's just gone into the ether. It still exists. You could go click on it, but nobody does that on Rumble.
Says from Google, Rumble was founded in October 2013 by Chris Pavlovsky and as an alternative to YouTube for independent vloggers and small content creators. Pavlovsky founded the platform after seeing that.
And I think what they're doing now is they tried doing the gaming thing. It didn't catch on because they were trying to get away from political and be in everything. And now I think it's like what we just talked about with other things. You've got to have people with that gravitas attached to it to bring more viewers in. Those viewers may then disseminate through Rumble and find other things that they like on Rumble. But if you've got the Bongino network, you've got Crowder, you've got all these different people that they have got going through this chain that they're going day in and day out, it is bringing in viewers. The question is, can we even trust their numbers?
Well, that's the
we've
problem,
questioned
yeah.
that from the beginning.
We say that, they're bringing in viewers. It looks like they're bringing a bunch of bots in.
But they're because they're on the front page at all times. Every time somebody opens Rumble, every one of those people gets a view because they're on the front page. It's automatic. If you see Crowder, it's a view. Doesn't matter if you click on them. That's their difference between raw and unique views.
Here he goes again.
He ain't lying.
No, it seems like
Now
it
I'm
sucks.
getting
I
a
don't even
little
like
bit of
using
weird
Rumble.
echo too.
Yeah, I'm hearing something.
Yeah, it's Jesse. Now we're getting echo through you, Jesse.
I'm one of those. Maybe I'm a boomer. I just don't even like going on Rumble. I don't like the UI. I don't like how it's laid out. I don't like how I can't just find this show that I'm wanting to watch because I know it's live. It's just annoying.
I get that, but I also enjoy the free speech aspect of it and the
Well,
fact that they're doing everything they can to stand up for free speech. So I do everything on both Rumble and YouTube. Obviously, more of it comes from YouTube because that's where everybody is. But I
It's
do
one of those-
like that they are in the fight.
Yeah.
I just
No,
wish
that's-
they were
that's good.
more transparent about their numbers and the analytics and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Rumble was my fallout shelter, and I've said this a million times because I told people like this from the beginning, back when I had 4,000 subscribers over on the last channel and was making a decent income and stuff like that. It's one of those things. Like I always told everybody, I said YouTube changes their rules all the time. You never know when one day something you said was okay or something you've been doing for 6 months was perfectly okay, and then all of a sudden the rules will change and your entire channel get nuked. And that's why I always dual stream to Rumble. That's why I was always over there, because it seemed like everything that Rumble had told me is that they weren't going to do that kind of thing, and they didn't. And
True,
I was able to rebuild. I was able to rebuild everything I did from Rumble. I was able to keep I was able to keep enough money flowing from Rumble after YouTube nuked me, and then I've been able to rebuild my YouTube. Unfortunately, that's my biggest issue with Rumble, is the growth is impossible. I live stream all of the time. I live stream 7 days a week to that channel. I do exclusives to that place. I put out videos over there, all over the place. My videos don't get any growth whatsoever. The only time my Rumble grows is if my YouTube is growing, and that's pathetic, and that's a problem. I can't grow as a small creator on Rumble the way I can on YouTube, and that's a serious fucking problem for anybody trying to start out.
Do you think Rumble's going to end up being a Dodge town?
What do you mean by that?
Like, the old West, where you'd have a boom town and then everyone would leave just because there was no
Everybody's getting out of Dodge.
Everyone's getting out of Dodge.
I think because of how many people, because of how many people that Rumble's got like exclusively dedicated to them now. I just worry that Rumble's only going to ever end up being something political. And that's my problem with it, is because that's what they've been concentrating on. And instead of they need to concentrate on cat videos. Let's be completely honest. They need to concentrate on cat videos. They need to concentrate on stuff like that. Instead, they're concentrating on politics and gaming, because apparently gaming's the hot thing right now. You know what made YouTube successful? Fucking cat videos. Okay. And you don't have that kind of stuff on Rumble. You don't have that kind of general audience content over there that you do on all of the rest of these platforms, including TikTok and Instagram and Twitter. I mean, if you want to, you can make your X algorithm nothing but cat videos and puppy dog videos and stuff like that if you follow the right accounts. You can't do that on Rumble.
It's not just cat videos, though. I had to change out the tail lamp on my Jeep last week.
Yeah. Yep.
Do I have any thought of even going to Rumble to search how to change out a tail lamp on a 2020 Jeep Gladiator? No. YouTube is where you go to look up a how to do video.
Yeah.
I mean, they need that kind of content, and they need the searchability to do that to actually grow to a competitor of YouTube. If they don't want to be a competitor of YouTube, I think you're a live streaming service.
Yeah, I think at this point they need to be a competitor to Twitch, because that's closer to what they are than YouTube.
I think so too.
And the only way you can be a competitor to Twitch is that they need to Steve Jobs, essentially. They need somebody that can make, because like an Apple and Android are the same, but Apple has people look at Apple and they're like, it has a coolness factor to it. And so everybody's like, you're either in the club or in the group, or you're not in the group and I think Rumble needs that, essentially.
Well, like Apple also fostered a full ecosystem of, if you had an iPod before the iPhone even came out, and you had iTunes and you had already bought all this music and everything else, then it's hard to switch over to Android where you don't have all the things that you already purchased through Apple.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too with Android too is like I had a lot of this problem. Like when you get to the lower systems and like the cheaper phones and stuff like that, a lot of the things that come default and automatically set up on an iPhone, you have to add apps and stuff like that to get the same functionality of a cheaper Android that you automatically get out of an iPhone. And I don't know if that's true for the more expensive Androids or not, because I only had dealt with the cheaper ones, because I had my boomer friends going, "Hey, come fix this for me," and I'd be like, if you just about an iPhone, you wouldn't have to do this. And they're like, fix it for me. And I'm like, okay. And so I'd spend 45 minutes like fixing their phone so it would work for them properly without them having to dick with a bunch of stuff.
Android is far more innovative at this point, but Apple has an ecosystem that everybody's used to.
And Apple has that still that like that still recognized as like a cool product to have. Like you still get like people are like, oh, you have an Android? Ew.
Weird. So I did find a
It's very
2020
PlayStation, Xbox.
Yeah.
2020
Yeah.
Jeep Grand
But like this
Cherokee
one
oil
leaked.
change tutorial on Rumble. 54 views. And the guy's channel has like 2 subscribers, 2 followers.
Exactly.
And that's one of the problems.
They need to
That's the problem
do.
with that.
They need to have GunTube come over to Rumble. They should be courting
Yes,
like
and
Mr.
I-
Guns Gear and all those guys.
All
Dude,
the
with
weapons.
Yeah.
All the problems that like GunTube has had over the last few years with how much YouTube has screwed with them, why Rumble hasn't reached out to all of those guys and given them contracts, I don't get. It aligns perfectly with the Rumble atmosphere and what they do, and they haven't done anything to reach out to those guys. It seems like
They've already started their own thing with Pepperbox. So like if you've listened to like I listen to like the unsubscribed podcasts every now and then, and they've
like
talked
those
about
guys.
Rumble, and it's just like they'll like tell you it's just like they'll tell you Rumble's just not it.
Yeah.
It's like just because it's they just don't like the platform at all. Any of those like gun tubers, they're just like, all right, we're just gonna start our own thing.
Quick,
Yeah, but
real
it's one of
quick.
those things, it's like,
Hold on. Real
Go
quick,
ahead.
our amazing guest here dropped $20 for Horror Amarada
Other
and
way,
Sheep City.
other
And,
finger,
this guy? No.
other direction.
Oh, it's flipped around for me. So him over here gave us $20 for, and he said, "Don't forget to pre-order Silence Do Good."
Because I'm
Happy Hump
selfish
Day.
and narcissistic.
Of
It's all
course,
about me. But no, seriously. Happy couple. Good luck.
much
Godspeed.
appreciated.
Blessings.
happy
and tidings.
life. Yes. No, those two are great. Horror and Sheep are great.
What? How many do we have left? 4? Do we have 4 left? 5 left?
Yeah, 4 left. 4 left.
4 left.
No, we're at 11 and 15. We're at
Let's
11
go,
15.
guys. 4 left.
Four left.
We probably don't have much time left in the thing. We should have about maybe 35 minutes left if we can get there to get an awesome gift for Amarad and Sheep City. And thanks so much for your support tonight.
Maybe we
guys.
should remind Chad about Sheep Cityan. People, let me tell you about my black friend.
Where's that clip? We need that clip.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I know, like Rumble's another one that looks like they're doing that thing where it's like, look at us, like we're gonna like fake it till you make it, you know? And like one day they just won't be around, or they'll be there, but nothing really happened. And trust me, like I support all the people who want to make this their home, and like they go headlong into it. There's a lot of good creators on Rumble that are small that are going unnoticed, but that is part of the game. You know, part of the business of having your own business is sometimes you choose the wrong storefront. You make bad investments places, and it sucks, but like you live and you learn. Rumble, just from where a lot of people sit, it doesn't look like the place of the future. I know they want to be. I'm stoked that they want to promote free speech. Of course, I don't want channels taken down for just expressing an opinion, but they still have a long way to go. And it is fair to say that YouTube took a long time to get where it is, of course. But they do seem to be concentrating on the wrong things. And, you know, but I think small creators need to remember that these platforms aren't in it for you because you don't make them money, unfortunately. They're in it for the Dr. Disrespects because they're pulling money into it.
But that's where Rumble screwed up huge, was the Dr. Disrespect situation. You have to get him to go exclusive. If you're going to pay him money, you have to get him to be off of YouTube completely.
Well, they're from what I understand, he's the long game because he's supposed to be making Rumble gaming like that's his thing. So over the course of however long, he needs to probably, because he's also financially incentivized because he's like, doesn't he own part of like Rumble now?
Yeah, part of his
He probably got
contract
stock
was-
options,
Yeah, stock options. But this is where like I need Rumble to be transparent. What is Dr. Disrespect doing for them? Like I'm not saying that he's not doing anything for them, but are they taking his advice? Is he like, what is he like been telling them to do? Are they listening? Like, we need some clarity on like what's going on there. Because right now it just, he made a contract. He's now streaming on Rumble. And that's the extent of.
And he's not exclusively streaming on Rumble.
No.
He's streaming on YouTube, Rumble, and now he's been unbanned from Twitch again.
Yeah.
Has he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they unbanned everybody about a week ago.
Because
all the big names on Twitch got unbanned about a week ago.
Because
Bro.
of the whole Hassan thing where they only banned him for like a day and then unbanned him.
There's no reason, like, there's no reason for him to continue on Rumble. Like, he will make way more money on these other platforms. Way more money.
Which person are you talking about? Disrespect?
Disrespect.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
That's why,
yes.
like I said in somebody's streams, like give it a year, then he'll be back. Then he'll like probably leave Rumble.
He could, if he invested the time, I think he could do some really good things with Rumble. But I don't know if that's ultimately what's going to make him money. I think it could make him a lot of money, but he wants his money now. He makes a lot of money now.
If he's got a ton of stock from stock options, making a ton of money is getting Rumble stock to climb again.
Yeah, but I guess what I mean is like when he's live streaming, when he's just playing games and getting donations and stuff, like he's highly liquid. He can take that stuff right away and go do what he wants with it. Those stock options, I mean, yes, he can do stuff with it, but it's only as valuable as Rumble stays. And I don't know if honestly if the gaming side of Rumble is the most lucrative. Like the most lucrative side of Rumble is their VOD side, is the, or with the most potential.
I don't think it's their VOD side.
Madhouse is saying that
just their political streams are the most lucrative.
Yeah. Madhouse is saying that that list was a hoax.
All the streams are still banned. Oh, okay.
It certainly looked like an official Twitter or Twitch announcement, but could be. I don't do anything with Twitch. I don't care. I mean, really, if he wants to grow the gaming, he's got to go more exclusive. I mean, you can't do 1 or 2 hours a week. I guess nobody's going to follow from YouTube for an extra hour.
Well, I guess what I mean by his like I don't know if he necessarily it would be nice if he did more exclusive on there, because it like, hey, you're representing this company, which you have, a lot of what is it? You have a lot of stock. You need to build out these features. What is the reason that people should come for gaming here? That's what I mean is like, if you can build the interactivity on the gaming side, maybe again, like I've said before, make the gaming website separate from it, like rumblegaming.com. Not, you don't go to Rumble for it. Just go to rumblegaming.com and there's all your people. You know what I mean?
I don't think they see that as a answer because they're trying to get people to Rumble in general.
Yeah, that would.
I thought they were
that would be like
person
YouTube.
in all these websites and all these live streams. They're like number one in the 1 o'clock time slot.
And the political stuff, yeah. And it's one of those situations where
But
it's
if
like,
you're wanting to convert it from being just political to also gaming and also other things, you can't just separate the website and then
They're
say,
two different
okay, we've got a
audiences,
gaming
though.
website.
But they're two different
Yeah, but
audiences.
Not always.
YouTube would never do that. Like none of the rest of these platforms would ever do that. Why would Rumble do that?
Because their message has been politics from the beginning, and then gaming was like tertiary. It's like, oh, we want that piece of this crowd because they're banning people and YouTube, like they've seen.
I got to push back a little on that. Their message hasn't been politics from the beginning. It's been free speech. It's just one side was not getting free speech and had to go there for the free speech. Yeah. They weren't inherently trying to be political. They were trying to be a free speech platform.
Yeah, that's what
but unfortunately, free speech became political.
They weren't courting the politics. They were courting those who wanted free speech because everybody was getting silenced on YouTube and on the other platforms.
The people getting silenced were political people.
Just happened to be right wing.
Yeah, all the political people were the conservative, right wing, libertarian type people that are getting just canceled right off of YouTube. So I think that's why it naturally became political. I do, but I think that they really do need to spend some time figuring out how they can, like what you're saying, Brahmabull, like rotate in some of the other stuff, like so it's a little bit more diversified. It's like, I don't know, put people up that are doing gaming streams, get people up that are maybe
Cycle
try
people.
to cycle people through, get some gun guys up there, like just it's just right now it's just one thing, and you're only attracting a sliver of what you could be attracting if you just make some tweaks.
But even when
I
it
think
was
what
being cycled, you would get 1,500 views because you were on the front page. There was not one comment from anybody because the way they do their views is inherently dishonest. And I know for a fact I'm not getting 1,500 views even when I'm on the front page because nobody's clicking into it.
Yeah.
Nobody's commenting. Nobody's doing anything. It is the same 20 to 40 people that are in my streams every week that are continuing to comment.
Yeah.
And as the second I was not getting front page space, it went to the 40 to 50 or 30 to 50 people that are always in my stream every Saturday night committed.
If they don't come up with a better strategy, though, sorry, real quick. If they don't come up with a better strategy, what's going to end up happening is YouTube's going to continue to kind of not be as stringent on their rules. People are going to go back to YouTube, and then the moment that Rumble is basically dead in the water, because if YouTube just slightly just makes it a little bit more positive for free speech, they'll go away. And then YouTube will go right back to locking it down. And that's not.
And that has happened when YouTube loosened up on talking about election interference. I mean, we were all able to talk about it. There was a lot less views on Rumble for the political talk as far as small creators. The big creators are going to get their stuff either way.
Yeah.
And they're probably actually pulling in some more realistic numbers, even though they're on the front page. But I still don't. We need more transparency. And I think Pavlovsky is. I've talked to a few of the guys at the upper guys at Rumble. They want to do things right. I just don't know that they're doing it right, or that they've been able to build it out to where it can be done right.
So this is interesting. They do have the Rumble Creator Program people. It's way below the fold, but it's there. You have someone with 296 followers, 285, then there's 1K, 2.3K, 2.
And you know what they're not getting from this? Any views, because it's not showing their live stream currently. It's just asking you to follow them.
So all
and
these
you have to be using the Rumble
simultaneously
Studio.
So all these people are simultaneously getting a view from us?
If they are live right now and they are on the front page and you can see it, it counts as a unique view.
Well, and
or
honestly,
a raw view, one or the other.
YouTube started doing that exact same thing too, because that's why they started doing the autoplay as you scroll through your app. That's why they started doing the autoplay, because they will count the autoplay as a view. So YouTube isn't doing it to the extent that Rumble is, but YouTube is still doing the exact same thing, just in a slightly different fashion with a better algorithm. So you're not seeing everybody that's on the front page. You're seeing, YouTube's algorithm, what they're sending you, but at the exact same time, that's why the autoplay started, is because they count that as a view.
See, that's trash. Like if I hit, okay, so I have to hit it twice to go to gaming. One, it brings me down, and then this brings me here. Like,
that's not
and
good.
it's abysmal. Like 137 viewers.
And then you get to search through games before you get to search through live streams.
Well, it's also 1 o'clock in the morning Central Standard Time and 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time.
This is what it looked like this afternoon too, man. Like there's not many people on here, unfortunately.
Isn't
Get it
1
right,
o'clock in the
Jesse.
morning
It's God's
prime
time.
gaming time?
What's that?
Central Time is God's time.
Amen to that, Salty. Amen to that, brother.
Mountain time's the best. We get East Coast.
Yeah,
We
where
get
are you
East
guys
Coast early,
on?
and I'm Colorado.
Okay.
Utah.
He's in Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah, and that fucker's in Utah, so yeah, they don't actually count. They're not real places.
Yeah, I get both
taken over.
Pacific and Mountain Time.
Oh yeah, Rankin, that's right, because you're in Arizona.
Yeah, they're like, no daylight savings. F you. It's not
Mhm.
happening.
That's right. Amen to that.
It's weird too because they're like so Marvel Rivals, one of the biggest competitive games right now. 16 players on the most viewed stream right now, and then 5, 2, 2, 1, 1. Like, why aren't they showing the numbers? Like, it's like they don't want to show the numbers for this game because it's so low. But like Escape from Tarkov shows the numbers because it's like over 100. You know, it's I don't know. Oh, and like yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, there's no foothold in gaming on
You
this
spent
website.
time on Twitch, Shags. Yeah. I'm not as familiar over there, but basically, the more viewers you had, the higher up on the list you were, right? Active
They
viewers.
changed it actually, so I think it's just kind of random. It used to be that's what it was. Top bottom was top was the most
Per
viewed.
category, though, like for a game, like if you went into retro gaming, whoever has the most viewers of a retro game is going to be first on the list, right? They had to change it because it would only be hot tub streams if it was most viewers.
No,
So they had to change it to the categories being highest viewers, right?
Well, I don't know if it's just my setting, but I know at one point or another they switched it so it was just random. Like, so if you clicked on a category, in that category, the first person was probably a lot of viewers, but it might be like 200, and then it might be 1,000 after that, and then 15. Like it was all over the place, and that's something that's
Okay.
You can still filter it from highest to lowest or lowest to highest. But I know they recently changed it for that reason, because there was there's people playing in categories like they're in the hot tub, like playing a
Well, it would be just chatting and hot tubs only if you literally just had the featured being most.
So weird, man. I don't understand that whole. Really, guys, stop simping. It all ends when you stop simping.
Yeah. So many guys complain about it, but it's like you're the one supporting it. So I don't know what,
Yeah.
I don't know what it's a lot of men.
Most of the guys complaining about it are not the ones supporting it.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
There's just a
nowadays.
lot of simps out there, and the simps keep the dream alive.
Right.
The amazing thing is how much money the Sims seem to have.
Right.
They got to be taking cash loans on their credit cards at 25% interest.
Yep. There was actually,
Crazy work.
it's funny. I saw one of those weird stories. I forget who the hell told it, but it was this guy, totally crazy dude. I got addicted to those like some Ukrainian stripper online, and he ended up spending $40,000, stole money from his parents, took out credit cards under his brother's name, under his grandmother's name. Never saw her once, but just ended up paying her. She charged $200 an hour, and he would or not even $200 every 15 minutes or some shit. And he would just throw money at this bitch. It's
It's crazy, man.
It's a mental illness is what it is.
What's going to happen is we're going to have such a breakdown of society that we're going to have to make certain things illegal, and everyone's like, it's not constitutional, and be like, well, if we don't, we're not surviving.
Right.
It's amazing that these girls that you will never even see in person or touch are making $1 million a month, $5 million a month, and a stripper makes $1,500 a night, where you're actually at least seeing the body in person.
Right.
And that's one of the things that always
It's insane.
5D, you can smell them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can smell all the other guys, but yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Baby oil and all the other guys, right?
Even when I was in tech school in the military, we only went to the strip clubs in Pensacola, Florida, because they were open until 5 o'clock in the morning. We'd literally sit at a table in the back just so we could drink till 5 o'clock in the morning. One of my tech school instructors was like, how do you know about that place? We're like, because they're open until 5 o'clock in the morning. They serve beer until 5 o'clock in the morning. We weren't going, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my money at a strip club on a stripper. I can spend $100 taking a girl out to dinner, and I might actually get laid at the end of the night, or I can spend $300 at a strip club and go home with blue balls.
Yeah,
Like, what
seriously,
the
man.
fuck is the point in that shit, man?
No way, dude. I was all about going to the club, and I meant like in Hollywood, like going to an actual club where you could. There was a potential of some action, actual action, not
Yeah.
just getting blue balls and being like yeah, and having and keep more of my money. Good Lord.
Listen, some of those chicks are worth the expensive boner. I don't know about you guys, but
What okay, now we know who the simp is on the chat. Now we
You're
know
the
who's
one that
seeing
keeps the
only
dream
girls
alive
on
for the
that shit.
304s. It's
Yep.
you.
Good
listen.
job, Shagsworth.
Listen to
Shags
me.
put many chicks through college.
Yeah, she was a nurse. She wanted to help people. All right.
Of course she was, Shags. Of course.
Listen,
That's what they always
I don't-
tell you.
I don't
She
sit
was
in the
probably
back.
an engineer too.
I'm sitting up front.
And like
He's
I
getting
need to
lap
see.
dances in the back room. That's
He's-
what was going
dude,
on.
he is going shower.
Listen.
He's getting the champagne dances. He's getting the shower shows, all of that kind of
Listen,
stuff.
Lena
Shags paid for a lot
liked
of
me
girls'
a
college.
lot. All right.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure
she
she did.
Shags
She
is like,
remembered.
She did.
I don't often go to strip clubs, but when I do, they're in Mexico, and you can put anything anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I did. No, but back in the day, I was maybe 21. I was 21, obviously, because we would drink occasionally. It was probably 22.
In Mexico, it
time.
doesn't matter.
Well, this was in Connecticut, so good old Connecticut at the Gold Club. It's not there
Were
anymore.
those one of the places where you either got booze or full nude? Was that one of those places? Or did you
Yeah,
get
so
both?
the full nude side was a juice bar. Like you couldn't drink over there. You get a little feisty. People get a little feisty.
That's where Missouri was.
But the side that was just topless, you could drink. So, and it if you were nice enough, you might. Never mind. I'm not even gonna tell a story.
A little handy in the back room, huh, Shags?
No,
A little
never,
handy in
never,
the back
never.
room?
Never that. Never that.
Lies. Fucking
No.
lies.
Now, if you weren't a creep, like the security guard would like kind of turn the other way and let her guide you. It's just one of those things. Like, as a young man, you do.
I'm not saying anything because my wife might be watching, so I don't know what you're talking about, and I'll just continue to.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got more pussy in high school than I ever expected to get out of a strip club. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. Some of those girls in Vegas are dirty.
Yep. I mean, I definitely don't know anything. I would never go to a strip club in Vegas. I mean, one, because I'm way too old for that shit now.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought you were
I
a
think
good
it's fun. I think it's a fun thing that young men like go experience it and like see what it is. You don't have to spend money, but like I think it's a good experience because like you do see some really depraved people and you can see because it's not just the women, it's the men in there who are there night after night, who are either leaving their families or like this is the only connection they have, and they think that throwing thousands of dollars like it is how you connect with people. Just like it's like go to a casino and watch people, like you can tell the people who are there all the time, and it's just kind of sad to watch. It's one way I probably
The
avoided
people who cash their checks on Friday and go
bro.
immediately to the slot machine.
Yeah.
They literally
dude,
cash the
that's-
check at the cashier window.
I would imagine though that the strip club quality has gone down quite drastically since OnlyFans, because why get groped in real life when you can just from the safety of your bedroom do all the stuff. Ugh.
We've got a strip club that's here in town right next to the army base.
How
Fort Carson.
Oh, dude, that's always the way it is.
And
like you go to Fort Riley in Kansas, and literally like the main entrance to the gate is nothing but payday loans, buy here, pay here cars, and strip clubs. That's literally
pawn
what
shop,
the entire
A
entrance
pawn
of
shop,
Fort
a
Riley.
masseuse,
Yeah, pawn
and
shops.
a strip club. But
Yep.
the strip club is called Deja Vu, and on their sign says Deja Vu Showgirls, 99 hot girls and one ugly one, or something like that.
You guys have never been to a strip club until you've gone to Jumbo's Clown Room in Hollywood. And at Jumbo's Clown Room, there might have been one hot girl and a bunch of ugly ones. And there was when they had a midget stripper, there was a one-armed stripper, and there was a stripper that would be able to shimmy down the pole, pick up a stick of fire, and go back up the pole with a stick of fire in her butt.
God rest her soul. She is amazing. It's an amazing talent.
Jumbo's Clown Room. Find out about it.
That's awesome.
That
fire
they put
burns
on a
up,
show,
right?
Well, it's one of those like you would have at the circus or whatever, like but like she would do all this twirling with the baton and it was on fire, and then put it on the ground, go down, be on the bottom, and then shimmy up the thing with the inner ass, and it's just that was a show, guys. That was a show.
Yeah, there you go. That's Chris Core's favorite place.
A serious man came through with $2 and said, making it rain, that a boy. You know, if you throw nickels at the strippers, it's called making it hail.
Oh, dude, I had a buddy of mine. Was stationed in England for like 2 years, and like he was the same way. He didn't go to the street. He just went to the strip clubs to get drunk and hang out with his friends. And like over in England, right? Like you don't have like dollar coins. You have like, or you don't have like dollar bills. You have like dollar coins, right, over there, right?
Mm.
And so they never wanted you to tip less than a $5 because that was what the bills were. And he used to literally sit at the bar backwards from the he'd face the bartender and have the stage behind him, and just every once in a while he'd throw a handful of fucking change over his shoulder, and it'd ping off the stripper poles, and they'd all get so mad because the girls would have to start ducking, and they never could catch him for doing it because he'd just wait till the bartender turned his
oh man
just wait till the bartender turned his back and just throw it.
Wow.
I don't do the strip club thing, but I mean, can you take a roll of coins and ask them to pick it up creatively?
Probably at Jumbo's Clown Room. Probably in Jumbo's Clown Room.
Probably at
Yeah, right.
Jumbo's.
Yeah.
It sounds like a nice place to go hogging, actually. You guys ever been hogging?
What's hogging?
You can go to any bar and go hogging. What are you talking about? You don't have to go to
Hogging
a strip
is where
club.
you
That's
go
the
with your
last
boys
place.
to the bar and you see who can get the ugliest chick.
Oh, God.
It's a
Yeah,
great
it would be
college.
because that was very, like, again, one-armed stripper. Like, seriously, she had a nub and did the whole burlesque show.
Dude,
See, I never played these games because I've been with my wife for 22 years. I was 21 and she was my first. So
That's a better story than anything we've just said. Okay.
Yeah, because I got a buddy of mine in the military. I had a guy in the military that like he was like, fat chicks just feel better, man. Like, what the fuck, dude? He'd go home with the biggest. He'd get fucking hammered or shit at the enlisted club and go home with the biggest girl he could find, dude. It was
It's because they work for it, man. Like they
do, man.
Yeah.
You've
toss
never
some
had
flour
your dick
on them and
sucked
pick the
big
wet
and
spot.
sucked by a fat
Yeah.
girl. Holy shit! Oh, dude, my grandfather used to say that shit.
Riken, we need a story, bro. Like you're too quiet. You're checking on something.
It's like, what's going on?
Reagan's like, I didn't know
let's
all
go.
this degenerate
Riken's
Vegas.
like, have you ever been to Tijuana? They have these donkeys.
Donkey shows.
No, I'm tired, and I'm like, this is not. I don't know if I could add anything to this conversation.
Come on, Rick. You hang out with Cody. Let's go. You got to have something.
Dude, hanging out with Cody, like he projects like a lot, but like he's very
he's
chill
great.
when I've hung out with him like the few times.
He's a great
He
guy,
seems
though.
like a guy that like that's what I always got from him is like his show is his like show, but I feel like behind closed doors he's just like I just want to chill out and like.
Are we talking about Camelot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I've
Okay.
been to his house like twice, and every time we would just drink and just like chill, and it was like nothing crazy.
There you go. Tell us a story about your friend. I'm sure you could ask Camelot any story you want. He would probably tell you.
Yeah.
He's very
hilarious,
open.
man.
Yeah. He is
He's not
very
shy.
open about all that kind of stuff. I love that too from DeBeast though. He's like, I
I like
like
chubby
chubby
bunnies.
bunnies. Said it.
go. Ain't no shame. Ain't no shame in it.
Respect.
Little cushion for the pushing.
That's right.
It's
That's
you know,
right.
it's a thing. I mean, it's
Hey man, They're always hungry, so you know they're gonna devour it better. So yeah.
It's going to be a great Bible study on Sunday.
2 p.m. Hey, man, anybody that's ever actually read the Bible realizes that there are some serious NC-17 moments, especially in the Old Testament, man.
Song of Songs.
Like, seriously.
Someone
Dude,
tried
but
to
it's
tell
not
me-
about random fat chick at the bar.
Someone was trying to tell me that sodomy included oral sex, and so it was banned in the Bible. And I'm like, have you read Song of Songs, dude? Like, the Song of Solomon is straight up. I'm sorry. I took his fruit into my mouth. What are they talking about? Because it is dirty.
Holy shit. Wow. We've come a long way.
You have great clouds. What does that mean? Well, the clouds are above the place where you plant the seed.
Oh, it's like
She's got great tits, is what the Bible is saying. She's got great tits.
they were sexting
it's
in the
like a-
Bible. Sexting in the Bible.
That's always my favorite part. Like, we go through some of like the battle scenes and like some of the hardcore crazy. I'm like, this would put 300 to the shame on like the
Yeah.
Zack Snyder scale if you guys would make some of these battles into like actual decent movies. Like, the Bible is not your children's like lovely little Sunday school stories. That thing
Instead,
is
they give us
insane.
Exodus with the freaking Nephilim as rock monsters.
Oh,
So
I
dumb.
know.
So,
Oh my
dude,
God.
oh my gosh. So when
Or Noah. What movie? What was
That
it
was
called?
called
It was
Noah.
Noah.
It was called
That was-
Noah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that wasn't that like the
Not
ABC
Exodus.
one or
Yeah.
something?
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
no, that was the one with Russell Crowe, right?
was
Where he
Russell
like,
Crowe.
It was really
Yeah,
bad.
I didn't
Yeah,
even bother watching that one. I saw the trailer and they're like, he's totally insane. It's I was like, I'm not gonna.
I
bother
worked
with
on the
this.
marketing for that film, and it was just, I was so
I'm
like,
sorry.
oh my gosh, you got to
Yeah,
be
no
kidding
shit.
me, man. It was terrible. Like,
Dude,
everything was, like,
NBC
talking to the executives, you're just like, I think you guys, why are you making this movie? You hate us. Like, why are you making this movie?
Because
Dude,
they could
NBC
contort this movie to not tell the actual story in any way
Yeah.
that was actually biblical.
Oh,
We're just going to
NBC
make the Nephilim rock monsters the main character.
yes.
Dude, NBC did a much better job in like the late 90s of an actual like Noah story, like where they even incorporated some of like a little bit of the Catholic mythology that like, you know, Noah was a little bit of a drunk and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but he was still always faithful to God and things like that. And so like God came in and like kind of helped him out. Like that, they did a much better story version of that in the 90s than the Russell Crowe abomination. Jesus,
So
they looked
the-
like he was literally nothing more than a schizophrenic.
So I have a question. Did you work on the marketing for, you said you did for Borderlands 2. It's, I don't know to what extent, but what I do know about Borderlands 2, like marketing, was that trailer that came out was like,
Oh,
it blew
God.
my dick off, bro. I was like,
Yeah.
holy fuck. Like the
Giggity.
song that was playing along with it was so incredible. I was like, if there were ever a blueprint on how to announce a game, that was it. Because
Yeah.
it just hyped you up. Everyone loved Borderlands. Now here's something even better to look forward to. And the song, like I said, it just took it to the next level.
Yeah, that was a company that I was working at. We did the marketing for it at a company called Trailer Park. It wasn't a trailer park. It was called Trailer Park because they made trailers, and then we did the guys that did. I didn't work on the trailer, but the guys that did, man, they had great taste in music, and they made a lot of really dope trailers. And that's probably up there as one of my favorite. That was a badass trailer, man. The
Oh, man,
music, perfect.
Yep. I got that song and it's on my workout playlist because it'll just like get me so amped up.
Yeah, that was a
But-
great trailer, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things like between Hollywood and like games is like they reveal too much too quickly, and it's like
Mhm.
you don't need it to generate buzz, like to tease people. You just need, like, sometimes you just need some really hype music. You just need some decent clips and just like feed people just like little bits, and they'll keep coming back for more.
Less is more. If you show cleavage, I'm gonna want to go see those titties. I mean, that's really, it's just like, just show a little cleavage
Yeah.
and
The
I'll be
ballerina.
done. Yeah.
That's been Sydney Sweeney's whole goal
And
in
I've-
Hollywood.
I've
Show
even
some tits
seen
and
Anna
go,
de Armas already, and the one she's already been in one with Keanu Reeves. I mean, what Knock Knock? Is that the name of the movie? Yeah.
I'll have to look this up for research purposes, of course.
Knock Knock was a Keanu Reeves movie with Anna de Armas and some other chick where they basically knock on his door pretending they're stranded because their car broke down or whatever.
Oh, we talked
And
about
then
this
they
last
seduce
week.
him in the shower and whatever. And yeah.
Matt's
Well, we
in
talked
charge.
about it with Nick because Nick was
Or
like,
Nick's-
I've never heard of this movie. And I was like, Nick, it's your freaking intro video.
What?
He's like, I've never seen it. It's like the video with Keanu Reeves buried up to his neck with the phone in front of his face. And Nick's like, yeah, that's my intro. And it's like, that's the movie it's from.
Dude, that is Nick to a T. That is
Yeah.
Nick to a T.
Oh man.
Salty,
Well-
you got any Hollywood stories that aren't
Gosh, I have-
completely backstage that you can tell us about some of the bigger projects you worked on?
I don't know. I mean, nothing too crazy.
Or
It
just
was-
name
it was-
some more projects and we'll ask you questions about them?
Well, I mean, I think my favorite project that I ever worked on was the marketing for Daredevil 1 and Daredevil 2. That was probably the most fun I ever had in entertainment advertising because writing for that and coming up with ideas for that it's just like you just got to remember being 13 years old again because that's all that film is. Deadpool's a 13-year-old with superpowers, and what that entailed, and that was a lot of fun. We laughed a lot with all the different spots and ideas that we were writing. Like seriously, like we did the Bob Ross spot for Deadpool 2. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
whack it, just whack it a little bit.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun, man.
Which
But
reminded
getting-
me of Crowder doing the Bob Ross thing, drawing Muhammad.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got that idea from me. I'd like to take credit for because we did that first.
I will credit you.
But that was fun. Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, there was a lot of fun. I mean, growing up in Hollywood in general, my parents were character actors and stuff. So there's a lot of stories that I have. I don't know, man. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Meeting people. Oh, growing up and going trick or treating in Toluca Lake, Henry Winkler had the best candy bars. That was one of my fondest memories.
King
Wait,
would
size.
full
hand
size?
Full size and sometimes king size candy bars if you really liked your costume. He's like the nicest guy in that neighborhood. That was always dope.
I've heard good things about Henry Winkler. So.
Like the nicest man. Like I think one of the nicest Hollywood people I think I've ever met in my life. No,
That's
joke.
cool.
I've heard great guy, but he kind of went off the TDS rails in the last couple of years.
Trump broke so many people's brains. It's crazy, dude. Dude, working in Hollywood, working at an agency when those debates were going down and when that was all like the election was like the campaigns were happening. It was
The first one?
great. Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
It was crazy. The next day, the weeping and the gnashing of teeth. Oh my gosh, dude. Girls were calling out sick. Like it was like the end of the world. Like I'm not kidding. People were calling out sick because they were so upset and so sad. It was mainly women.
Did you see Trump stand behind Hillary?
And I'm just like this.
No,
I'm just like, I'm not saying anything. And I
It was literally.
one of the things that I would say would be like, you know, because people kind of suspected, but I would just be like, oh, I'm a classic liberal, and they didn't even know what that meant. I would just be like, this is why. See, guys, this is why the president shouldn't have as much power as the president currently has. The power needs to be diluted into Congress because, you know, if we have a bad president, then we'll have bad things happen. You know, try in any way to like have an opinion because you have to say something because they're like, what do you think? And it's just like, well, secretly, I think this
President
is
has
awesome.
too much power.
They'll catch
Yeah.
on to you if you don't say something.
Oh no, they'll lock in on you and they'll freak out. Like, it's great. Like the one crazy story is when we were having the riots. There was like it wasn't the 2020 riots, but it was earlier riots, and they were like marching.
Michael Brown, hands up, don't shoot.
I think so.
Or
I think so.
the guy out there the guy in the hoodie.
No, that not
tried
that
to
one. I
remember
think
his name.
It might have been
That one
Michael
was
Brown,
Florida.
Trayvon Brown. They were marching up Hollywood Boulevard for
Yeah,
something. I was
Trayvon
actually
Martin.
working right across the street from the Grauman's Chinese Theater, and one of my good closer friends at work, he was like, they're marching up, and we were working late on a project, and he's like, dude, go home and get your guns. I was all, dude, you did not just say that. And people were like, Sean owns guns, and I was like, oh fuck, dude, I'm gonna be in HR tomorrow. Like, oh my gosh. Because like he was more like on the conservative side, but he was kind of middle of the road, and he said that out loud, and I was like, dude, what? Don't I told you never? He's like, well, I just thought. I'm like, first off,
Don't
if they
bring
come
up
here,
the armory.
I'm not coming back with my firearms. If I'm leaving, I'm staying home. I'm not going back to protect.
Yeah.
Fucking
Do I
stupid.
look like a Korean on a roof?
Like, like I'll protect my own property.
I respect that.
Yeah, I'll protect my own property, but I'm not coming back to work to protect it. I'm sorry. Like, you guys are SOL, so deal with it.
So what you're trying to tell us, Salty, is literally the SNL skit with Chris Rock was exactly what happened in Hollywood.
Which one was
Because that was like the last time that they were
The
that was
election
one
night where he's like,
yeah,
Oh, that's
they're
Dave
like, this
Chappelle.
is the worst thing that's happened in history. Trump's been elected. And he's like, Chris Rock is standing there with a whole bunch of white people going, yeah, that's the worst. That's the most oppressive thing that's happened in history of the U.S.
That was Dave, I think it was Dave Chappelle.
and my favorite,
That was
my
Dave
favorite
Chappelle, right?
line from
It was
Dave
Chappelle and
Chappelle. Yeah, it was
Oh,
Chappelle.
It was-
yeah. Oh, yeah.
no, it's
and
Chris Rock
yeah,
and
Rock
Chappelle.
Yeah.
Rock showed up at the end, but
Yeah,
because they were
No,
like,
Rock is there
oh,
the whole
yeah.
time. Chappelle shows up at the end. Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah, because Chris Rock's like, yeah, who would have ever thought getting an old white lady from the South would have really appealed to a bunch of blacks and minorities? Like, it's just like
Dude, it
The
was
whole
so
time
much
was
fun.
like the whole time was like the Young Turks. Well, I mean, she could still win this state and this state and this state and this state, and that would get her back within, one, and then it's like an hour later. Well, she still got a chance in this state an hour later. She really doesn't have a chance, does she?
yeah, they all started.
How
like,
could we
talking,
all
like,
be so
biking and
racist?
shit.
So you know how like some people will do like the Oscar party and have like a pool that they do like to guess the Oscars, or they'll do March Madness pool.
Yeah.
They had a primary pool that year for both campaigns, because it was like, two primaries essentially.
Well, it was 17 Republicans running and
Yeah.
like 7 Democrats.
And
right?
I picked Trump and Hillary, and everyone was like, "Why'd you pick Trump?" I'm all, he's gonna win the Republican primary, and they're like, "No." And I'm like, I cleaned up so good there, but then that was when it was a mistake, because people were like, "How'd you know he's gonna win?" And I'm just like, "Cause I pay attention to the news, like." It was obvious. Like, you didn't see how that was gonna go down. Like, did you see who they ran against him? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Well, at that point, they had like MSNBC and Joe Scarborough were like cheerleading Trump during the whole primary
yeah.
because they thought he would be so easy to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so easy to predict too, because when I was looking at that, I was all, my theory was, oh no, you don't understand, guys. The establishment Republicans asked Trump to run to kneecap Ted Cruz, because Ted Cruz would have took it. And they thought that Trump would kneecap Ted Cruz and they could slipstream Bush in. But the problem is that the country's so pissed off, because you don't understand the reason why Obama won. Obama won because everyone's tired of the establishment. And so Obama won because he's like, I'm going to do things different, guys, even though he governed exactly the same as Bush.
Hope and change.
And so it was like, okay, so now like they tried to change. Now they're doing the Molotov cocktail, and that's Trump. So he's obviously going to win. And it was really easy to just see. And everyone else was just like, I can't believe he won the primary. I'm like, really? The country's
Wait
not
till
happy.
you see what happens in the actual election if you didn't trust the primary.
Well, I knew. I was like, after that though, I was all, I'm not saying shit. I was just like, well, guys, the presidency shouldn't have this much power anyway, so maybe that'll be a good thing. I don't know. Well, anyway, I'm going to In-N-Out.
Yeah.
Because that was probably the craziest time, because people lost their ever loving minds, dude. It was
I would
like,
have loved to have been there with my red cap.
So, yeah, and I wasn't even paying
dude.
attention to politics back then. I was just like, oh, Trump won. Okay. And then
Dude.
the next
Oh.
day I just saw like all these people like losing their shit. I was like, he just won the presidency.
I started listening to Rush
It's not that big of a
Limbaugh
deal.
at like 5 years old.
oh yeah, dude. I had
There
The
was
Way
never
Things
a
Ought to
point
Be
I
in
didn't
fourth
pay
grade.
attention to politics.
That's like, you and me are probably the same. We probably have a lot of. I had The Way Things Ought to Be by Rush Limbaugh when I was like in fourth grade and read it because I was a weird kid.
I was like,
Yeah.
not weird at all. Not weird at all.
I listen
But-
to Rush constantly. Paul Harvey, absolutely. And
Yes.
then I would take the newspaper to school in middle school and check the
gosh,
price of the
hilarious.
Russian ruble against the US dollar because I
Hilarious.
wanted to invest in the ruble when I thought it would come back after
You are-
the Soviet Union fell.
How many lockers did you get stuffed in? For
Zero.
This fucking-
I was
You're like
also-
Alex P. Keaton, but
I was also an all-state basketball player. I
Oh,
won first
nice.
place in the 4x100. I won state in the 4x100. I was fast at one point. I was not this fat. And yeah, all state in basketball. So
oh, nice. Oh, so you're
I mean-
See, we're like the same. I play basketball too. But there was speaking of MAGA hats, there in my neighborhood. I lived in a really woke left wing neighborhood in LA, and I had this favorite breakfast spot of mine right down the street, and I went there with my buddy for breakfast.
oh,
And there was this like 16-year-old kid at the place with a MAGA hat on. And we were leaving after we paid our check, and we were leaving, and my buddy goes, "Hey, that's a nice hat." And his mom's all, "Don't encourage him," because she was super left wing. She's like, "He just doesn't upset me." And the kid was like straight up like, "No, dude, I love Trump. He's awesome." And my buddy's like fist bumps him, and then the lady goes to him and says, "I'm surprised. I would think that he would be really excited about Trump," because at the time I was more of a cruise guy, and he's like, "But you of all people, you shouldn't be supporting him." And he's all, "Why? Why?" And she's like, "Well, because he hates black people." And he's like, "Oh, really? So I shouldn't support him because you think he hates black people?" He's like, "That's interesting." Like,
Did you
and
see
you're
that
like,
video with him and Rosa Parks and Muhammad Ali?
like, but I was
Oh,
like, so racist, like the racist, and no self-awareness at all. And my buddy's just like, "Really, I shouldn't be conservative because I'm black?" And this lily white lady's like, "Oh no, because well, they hate black people."
Yep.
That's the white savior complex,
Yeah,
man, dude. Them motherfuckers, those liberal fucking, and this thing about it is them fuckers have not changed
Nope.
since the Civil War. They still think black people are stupid and retarded, can't think for themselves, and they
Yeah.
need someone else to come in and fucking save them, man. Literally nothing has changed in 150 years with that fucking party. And it's sad and pathetic. And yeah, they're just as racist as they were 150 years ago.
Yeah.
They just tried to change it now by going, well, we feel bad the fact that we were always racist. So now we're going to try to virtue signal and make it all better and make ourselves feel better.
But it's
Even
to
though we're still
hide.
treating black people like they're subhuman.
Yeah, but it's
Yep.
also to hide. They do all of it to still hide their lust and desire for power and enslavement, because we still have slavery alive and well in America, and the Democrats are constantly pushing for it, and the Republicans are acting exactly like the Whigs and being like, "Well, we just need a little bit of less slavery," and that slavery is called income tax.
True. And it's also time to end the show.
You got to work on your
Not because of
segue.
what you said, but because we're at the time.
I mean, I don't really care. Shags doesn't need to go to bed. I don't care if he sleeps. It's not my problem.
Oh,
I have
care
6
if
kids. I don't sleep anyway.
Shags
So
does care about sleep,
I care about.
and I have a
because
real job.
I half die if I don't sleep.
wow, what the fuck does that mean,
Yeah.
Brahma?
I need some sleep. I'm tired.
It means I do 40 hours a week on YouTube plus the full-time job. So, yes, I need sleep.
yeah. We just had to figure it up again. I do 65 hours a week doing this. So yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. That's what it takes to actually do this full time and be able to pull it off. Yeah.
Well, I see Bilbo followed over
Shags.
on Twitch. Thanks so much, man. What?
Thanks, Bilbo.
And I gave Salty's show a follow on
Thanks,
YouTube.
man.
Everybody else should too.
Yeah.
Good.
Live every
Get
Tuesday.
them up to 500.
Yeah,
It's
please.
Salty and Savage.
Salty and Savage show every Tuesday live at 9 p.m. Central to 11 p.m. So I co-host a show with a guy that used to be a producer at Extra. He's an two-time Emmy award-winning producer of Extra. So we do pop culture news, a little bit of politics. Two guys from LA working in the entertainment industry decided to move to the middle of the country and get away from the crazy ass Democrats.
Oh, that's crazy because I looked at one thumbnail and thought it was a homeless guy streaming with you.
Yeah, he's got a pretty epic beard. Yeah, it was like, but yeah, thank you guys for subbing. I really appreciate that because we're new. I'm new at it. You know, I've been the guy behind the guy for a very, very long time, and I've decided to unmask myself and expose you all to me.
I appreciate you accepting the invite, and I was glad you reached out. Trying to get people planned ahead of time, so you reaching out was a big thing. And we're glad we got to talk about your comic. Make sure you guys check that out. I do have the link in the his link tree is in the description, which will bring you to the page as well. And then there's the Indiegogo link as well for Rumble and YouTube. Cash Custer came through with another $20. Thank you so much, bro. Smoking Man, the 20 says fine, a little more.
Yeah,
I'll make
oddly,
sure.
it didn't count it towards it, so you must have put a timer on it that was too short.
You have to do a timer. That's okay. Like I said, if you didn't get a chance or you couldn't this week, we'll do again next week because it'll be the week before, and then that'll kind of like wrap things up, and then we'll get something picked out. But I mean, we can already get something like super good. They have a couple items on there that are.
We're looking at that KitchenAid mixer right now with the attachments.
That's something that I was thinking about.
That's like a $200 gift.
Do they have like a dehydrator or anything on like there? On like something like helps from like preserve food? Do they have
dehydrators are like $1,000, aren't they?
Yeah,
or is that a freeze dryer?
No,
you're thinking maybe a freeze dryer. I don't think dehydrators.
Freeze dryer.
Yeah, dehydrator can't be. I'm just thinking.
They also live in an area where they can just stick it outside in the shed, and it basically preserves it for the winter. So
yeah,
that's true. That's true. That is pretty cool.
I'm looking at that KitchenAid. I think that's.
Think we can do it?
Hell yeah!
I do want to say
plus all of the attachments that they were asking for is what I'm thinking.
I do want to say thank you for having me. I had a fun time hanging out with you guys. It was good to meet you all. It was good to see you again, Raken. And you guys are fun, man. If you ever need another person to come back and hang out with you guys and talk politics, I am totally down because I had a fun time. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we'll let you know for sure.
Brahma definitely doesn't like being lonely, so.
Oh, I will definitely be in touch with you about coming on the Sunday show.
Hit me up on X. Follow me on X, man. I'll follow you back. What
is the X? What are you on?
You see it right there.
Salty Draws.
I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. There you go.
Salty
I went and found it on YouTube. I didn't go search on X yet.
Jesse, what do you got coming up? Give us a quick rundown.
Tomorrow 11 a.m. for the morning prep. Hopefully, as long as the baby's doing okay, we'll get to start on time. If not, we might be a little late. Either way, we're doing another show. We got a video coming out at 8:45 tomorrow. I dropped 3 videos today. Thursday night 7 p.m. Dear Sweet Sunker Maiden and I will be reviewing Daredevil Born Again. We got episode 5 and 6 to watch tomorrow night. We are still trying to raise donations to try to get the van fixed. We've got to get the upper and lower ball joints replaced, which is going to be a $1,100 deal. So we're raising money for that right now. We hit $300 on Sunday night, so hopefully we'll see how tomorrow night on Thursday night goes. And then of course Fight Other Fridays, and Saturday we'll probably be playing some video games plus releasing more videos. Sunday 2 p.m. Bible study, and Sunday night 7 p.m. Mr. Grant Gregory and I will, and as well as our dear sweet Sunker Maiden, we'll be going over there for all that kind of fun stuff. And obviously, if you drew any direct donations or if you do any of that kind of stuff over there on my channel, you'll get videos of our dear sweet Sunker Maiden dancing, either making out with a lizard for a $25 donation, or any general donations will get you Dancing Sunker or Dancing Baby, which is always very hilarious, and everybody gets a kick out of that. Plus, it embarrasses the fuck out of Sunker, and everybody loves that part too. So come check me out. Appreciate all of you guys coming and subscribing tonight. For those out there in the chat tonight, we officially hit 1,700 subscribers. So thank you very much for that. On our way back to 4K, trying to get back to where we were before. And I appreciate all of you guys so very much for that. And obviously, Salty, I love you, brother. It's always good to hang out with you. Appreciate you, man.
Love you too. No homo. Yeah. Love you too.
Yeah. No. Lots of homo over here.
All the homo.
I love you. Not
Exactly.
the way you're thinking. I want to have sex with you. Wait, what?
Exactly. All right, but yeah, this is always a blast. I'm sorry I missed last week, and I appreciate all of you guys. I love this show. We have such a good time. So yeah, carry on.
Brahma.
Post, Jags.
What do I got going on? Tomorrow night I will be on with comics. Friday, Ascend and Art with Little Chad and Slender Dad. Saturday on my channel we will be doing Bourbon and Boarding, and Sunday we've got the Bullpen doing the political talk in the morning.
Hell yeah.
Good to
Riken.
see everybody. Have a great night.
Let's see. I'm going to be playing Atomfall tomorrow. That's going to be releasing, so I'm going to check that out because it's supposed to be a Fallout-like game. And so far from the early access people, it seems like it's been getting really good reception. So I'm excited to try that one out. And then I'm going to be gone all next week, so there's going to be no streams.
Where are you going?
Reckon, are you playing Path of Exile?
No,
Two?
No.
Or not?
I'm thinking about it, but I've not played it.
You should join next week when the new version drops, because it's going to reset everything.
I would, but I'm going to be out of state because I got a thing I'm doing with gymnastics.
Right, but even if you are out of state, since it's resetting, you can join in at the beginning, like when you get back. Because me and Shags will be doing it.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Am I?
Shags, you're doing it. You created like 7 channels on your Discord for your literal name on Discord is
Path of
Shags of Exile, Path of Shagsile, something. I mean, you were obsessed for like 3 weeks. We're waiting for the reset.
I was obsessed for way more than 3 weeks.
Okay,
Like,
and we're waiting for the reset so that we can get re-obsessed.
yes. We could talk off stream about that. I still have Death Stranding to beat. I'm in chapter 8 right now. I'm very close to beating it.
Well, you got a week.
I might be able to. Yeah, that's what I'll be doing. I think I'll do one more stream this week. I'll probably be playing Death Stranding maybe Friday night over on my Twitch channel, and I'll probably play on this main channel as well, just because why the fuck not? I don't have the time to manage multiple channels right now, and if I do, it'll just be uploading VODs. So come hang out to watch Death Stranding, and then I think I'll probably be doing a bit of Path of Exile 2, and then also MGS 5, The Phantom Pain, because I just can't get enough of Kojima right now. Let's just keep that train rolling. And then Vegas coming up in a few weeks. We are doing some fundraising for a gift for Amarada in Sheep City because they're getting married. So we're going to give them a community gift. Anyone who contributes to that via super chats or direct donations will get their name put onto the card, the thank you card, or not the thank you card, the just the card to them. So please come back to Satisfactory.
Thank you card. Thank you for getting married.
Yeah. Thank you for getting married so I can come to Vegas again.
We've been begging for 2.5 years.
Dude, I was literally every time we walked past a chapel, including the Denny's, which apparently you can get married at Denny's in Vegas. Like I was giving them shit every time we walked past any of that. So I'm like, hey, there's a chapel right there. Let's get married at Denny's. Let's get married at Denny's.
The secret in Vegas is you've got to go get the wedding license before you can go to the chapel.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah, that's it for us this week, guys. Thank you so much for all the love. And thank you this was a great show. This was a great show since we've been back. So appreciate y'all. Thank you guys, all of you guys, for being here tonight. Salty, you were a great guest. You're welcome back anytime. Riken, always a pleasure to see you, sir. Brahma and Jesse, we'll see you guys all next week. Same place, same crew, same dumb motherfucking conversations. I love y'all. Peace and love.
Bye.
Doodles.
I like to put stuff online.